Okay, so the recording has been started. I think we can start streaming if you are ready. I'm just muting.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, John. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Uh, are you able to see my screen? My voice is audible?
Yeah, clear. We are
Okay.
able to
But
see
John, your voice has been scrambling. I'm not able to hear you clearly.
you.
Can someone confirm?
Basit, can you confirm my voice if it is clear?
Yes, John, your voice is clear.
Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know what is the issue.
I think
okay,
there
fine.
is some...
We will adjust. Okay. So.
Okay. 1 second. Yeah, team, is this audible now? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm clear. Yeah, voice is clear for me also. Thank you. Okay, you are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's get started. Good morning and good evening, everyone. So welcome to this hands-on session or like hands-on workshop on generative AI with data engineering. Okay, so I have seen like a lot of people has been joined, and then like yeah, we are very much interested on this. So thanks for your all overwhelming response. Okay, so let me give brief introduction about myself. I'm Srinivasan, having around like 18 years of total IT experience. So working as a data architect in one of the MNC company, and I'm specialized in cloud and big data technology. Okay, so this is about myself. About the next 3 years, sorry, for the next 3 hours, we are going to explore on generative AI. And again, like leveraging generative AI in data engineering pipelines to build smart and scalable solutions. That is what we are going to see. Okay, so what is the goal of this workshop? So the goal is like understanding the core concept of generative AI. That is the first goal. The second goal is going to be like experience the live demo, okay, of an end-to-end use case. So combining with stream, a batch, UI, and Azure services. Okay, so you're going to have a live demo. Actually, for every whatever the word or the term that we are discussing, we are going to show it as a demo in real time how we can use it in the project. Okay, so finally, just at the end of the session, what you are going to get out of this session is like you are going to get a hands-on knowledge on GenAI terminology. Okay, and applying GenAI in data engineering in real-time project. Okay, so these are the main goals of this session actually. Okay, so let's move on. So this is the agenda for this 3-hour session. So first is a welcome session, means like the introduction about myself and also like the goal that we have discussed, and then the agenda walkthrough. Okay, so the first 15 minutes of time, we are going to discuss about what is generative AI, how it get evolved over the period of time. And again, we are also going to discuss about what is LLM. So this is the term that has been more popular nowadays, right? So even if in our organization, if you go right, it is going to be like we are going to have we are keep on hearing these terms: GenAI, LLM, prompt engineering, agentic AI, fine tuning, embedding. So those are the things that we are going to discuss. Okay, and also we are going to understand in real time. Okay, in the real-time project, we are going to discuss about like how it has been implemented in the code. Okay. And again, the next one is like about the project, the real-time call center ticket routing project actually. So this project, right, like it has been powered or enabled with AI actually. Okay, so this is a data engineering pipeline where whenever the user creates a ticket from the UI or like send us a mail. Okay, so this what the system will do, right? It is going to analyze the ticket, means like analyze the description. Say for an example, this is about a ticket about like internet issue. Okay, this is about like internet service provider. Okay, we have just as some customers has been sending a mail regarding the issue. Okay, so the system, what it will do, it will capture the data and then it is going to process and then it is going to identify what is the issue, and again it is going to set the priority, what is the priority for the ticket, and then how the customer has been feeling. Okay, based on the description is going to dynamically, and then in the runtime it is going to do that one using LLM. Okay, so that is what this project is all about. So we are going to explain like end to end. So all this GenAI concepts has been implemented in the Azure Databricks. Okay, so Azure Databricks has been used as a streaming engine, and then here you can see, right, like lot of Azure service has been used. Okay, so Azure blob storage is being used to store the HTML files. Azure functions is being used to run the process, and then Event Hub, Azure Event Hub is being used. Azure Databricks has been used. Okay, we'll explain each and everything in detail, and then we'll discuss. So after that, we are going to have an open discussion, open panel discussion. So normally we have few questions, right, like about GenAI, what is GenAI, or how it is going to impact. Is there any, it is going to replace the human job. So those kind of queries we have, right? So John is going to join with me and then is going to discuss about this topics. Okay, so that is what like the panel discussion is all about. Okay, so the next is like data governance project. In the data pipeline, the quality and the governance are the key things in the data engineering. Okay, so how we can enable AI for the data governance and also the data quality. So here we are using this GenAI and then like large language model and then the prompt engineering. Okay, so in the real time, we are going to show you how it is going to get implemented. Okay, so in your use cases, how you can use this one. So that is what we are going to see about the project 2. So after that, we are going to discuss about like LLMs in local, how we can run LLM in our local machine. Okay, we don't want to have like internet or API. We don't want to pay and then we have to get the API. I want to do some hands-ons. I want to get a clear understanding about like how this LLM works, or like I want to do some fine tuning, or like I want to train the data. I have some personal data, or like some private data it is going we have. So we want to train how we can do that one. Okay, so that is what, right, run LLMs in local. Okay, so that is again I'm going to run the process. It is very simple process. We can run it in our local laptop. So even we don't have any internet is also required for this. So that we are going to cover. So after that, we are going to have a Q&A session. 20 minutes of time we are going to have, and then you can ask whatever the questions that you have, you can ask. So I'll try to answer as much as possible. Okay, so if it is not able to answer, if you don't have any answer, just we will we'll answer it offline. Okay, so after that, there is another project. Okay, metric bot. Okay, so the metric bot project is about it is GenAI based, and then here we are going to understand about RAG. What is RAG? Okay, how we can write a code and then implement the RAG. Okay, it is about like you can ask a question. Okay, so in the natural language, it is going to convert that natural language into an SQL query, execute the data, get the data, summarize the output, and then it is going to return the result in the text format. Okay, so that is what this metric bot is all about. Here we are going to understand the difference between GenAI application, GenAI with RAG. Okay, so the last 10 minutes we are going to discuss about like Agentic AI for data movement. So this is just as like a explanation of what is Agentic AI is all about. Okay, how we can use this Agentic AI in data movement application or like use. Okay, so that is what this total agenda is all about. So finally, we are going to wrap up the session. Okay, I hope this is clear. The agenda has been clear to everyone. Let's move on. Okay, so this is we are going to discuss about generative AI. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Introduction to artificial intelligence. Okay, so what is artificial intelligence? Okay, so that is the question. Okay, this is a question that has been there for a long time. So people have a different opinion or like so different perspective on this artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is nothing but it is a machine or like a computer are designed to think or make decision like a human. Okay, so the intelligence is being artificially created. So that is what artificial intelligence is all about. Okay, so here this is about generative AI, right? So before getting into generative AI, let's step back and then we will try to understand what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, and then what is deep learning. Okay, and we can get into this generative AI. So I'm not going to get into details of each and every topic because it is out of scope. Just I'm going to give a overview of what is artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Okay, so as I mentioned, artificial intelligence is nothing but it is a it is like when computer or machines are designed to think and make decisions like humans. Okay, so that is what we are calling it as a artificial intelligence. Okay, all the models, what means like model is nothing but it is an algorithm. So that is being used for predictions that read the data, understand the data, and then so based on our input, it is going to give the output. Okay, all those models, whatever we have so far, algorithms that has been developed for predictions or like generating everything, right? It is comes under the umbrella of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the big umbrella. Under that, machine learning, deep learning, generative, everything comes under this artificial intelligence. Okay. So as I mentioned, artificial intelligence is the one, it has been there for a long time. Okay. But it has been keep on evolving over the period of time. Okay. So after that, like machine learning has been introduced. Okay. So machine learning is when computer learn from data and improve over time without being told what exactly to do. Okay, it is like a teacher. Okay, it is like a teacher, a computer using examples instead of instructions. Okay, so if you say like somewhat we want to do predictions or like classifications, then we can use like machine learning algorithm, the core machine learning algorithms actually. Okay, so the example is like the sales forecasting that we want to do, or like email spam filter that we want to do, like movie recommendations that we want to do. So those kind of predictions are like classifications, we can use this machine learning models. It is a basic means like it is like a first level of models actually in the artificial intelligence. So under this machine learning, there are three type of categories: the supervised model, unsupervised, and then reinforcement models. Okay, so in if you see right, totally in the machine learning, there are around like 20 to 30 popular models are going to be there. Okay, so this model, what it is going to do is like it is going to understand the data. Means like we can give the data to the model, and then it is going to learn the data from the model, learn the pattern from the model, and then if you give any new input, okay, so it is going to give the output actually. Okay, it is going to learn from the data. Okay, it is like a child, right? So if you child, how it is going to learn? Okay, so by observing and then it is practicing, it is going to learn, right? The same way the machine learning model is also going to do, or like the artificial intelligence model is also going to do.
Srini, 1 second, I'm sorry for interrupting. I think we are hitting limits in the teams. So can you parallelly stream this in the Google Meet also? I will give the Google Meet link. So
okay,
you
sure,
just Google Meet link. 1 second. Google Meet link I'll share in the. Why it is connecting?
Yeah, sure.
1 second. Google Meet link. I'm just putting in this meeting chat. You just take this one and the reporter can chat live. Just take it and try to connect. I will start allowing people from the Google. Okay, so people particularly who aren't able to connect due to some link issues. Guys, please mute. Please mute. Whoever couldn't connect to the Teams meeting, please join this link. But ensure that you mute the mic and fine. Okay. Okay. So mute the mic and mute the camera. Okay. So I will inform Srini to connect here.
John, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Do
you're
we
talking
exit from this team?
right?
Yeah, yeah. Do we need to exit from this team or like?
No. Teamsல வந்து மீட்டிங் நீங்க அப்படியே கண்டினியூ பண்ணிருங்க. கூகுள் மீட்ல மட்டும் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு நீங்க ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணிருங்க போ.
கூகுள் மீட்ல வந்து ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணவா?
கூகுள் மீட்லயே வந்து அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணிருங்க.
ஓகே.
ஏன்னா ஒரு 10 to 15 பீப்பிள்ஸ்க்கு லிங்க் வரலன்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதனால தான் இந்த ஸ்டாண்ட் பை. நீங்க டீம்ஸ்ல கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க. கூகுள் மீட்ல கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு ஜஸ்ட் ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் மட்டும் அன்மியூட் உங்க மைக்கை அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு நீங்க பாட்டுக்கு நார்மலா செஷன் கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க. இங்க வர சாட்ஸை நான் என்கேஜ் பண்ணிக்கிறேன்.
ஓகே ஓகே.
ஓகே.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Okay, so okay, I can upload this. Okay, 1 second. Let me share this screen. Okay, got it. This is fine. So we are able to see in both Teams as well in Google Meet, right?
Yes, Srini, we are good. Both we can able to see.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned, right, like artificial intelligence is the top layer. So under that we have all the models, means like machine learning or like deep learning or like a generative AI or LLM. Everything is being part of artificial intelligence. Okay, so in the artificial intelligence, as I say, like it is simulating the human intelligence. We are trying, means like the machine is being simulating the human intelligence. So that is what artificial intelligence is all about. Okay, so again in artificial intelligence, like machine learning is part of it actually. So in machine learning, as I mentioned, it has been mainly used to learn the data instead of being programmed step by step. Okay, so we can feed the data and then we can train that model actually. Okay, so consider like a child learning from observing or practicing. That is the very good example we can say about machine learning. Okay, so the machine learning, the core machine learning models, what it will do, right? It is going to have like, it is going to understand the data and then it is going to predict or like it is going to use for classification. The examples are like sales forecasting. I have like 5 years of data, sales data I have. Okay, so I can feed that data to the machine learning model. Okay, the machine learning model understand the patterns every day. What is the sales is been happening at the by product and also by date and also by category. Okay, by region, everything is going to understand that one. Okay, so then I can give a new data, means like next year what is the sales is going to be. Okay, so based on the previous year data, it is going to predict and then it is going to give the output. So that is what the machine learning model is all about. Okay, so we have, as I mentioned, there are around 20 to 30 popular machine learning models are there. And then machine learning models, just we have like supervised models and then like unsupervised models and then like reinforcement models. Okay, so these are the type of categories that is going to have it in machine learning models. Okay, so the next thing about like after machine learning, this is going to again keep on evolving, right? So the next concept is like deep learning. Okay, so the advanced of machine learning models is like deep learning actually. So machine learning models is not able to process images or like videos or like audio files. But so the deep learning model is able to do that one. It has been advanced of machine learning models. It is also part of machine learning because deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Okay, it is in deep learning, there are like multiple layers, like a human brain. In the human brain, we have like a neurons, right? When we see the picture or when we see the video or like images, right? So the mind is going to read that, and then it is going to process it in multiple layers, and then it is going to understand it. The same way deep learning model is also going to work. So whenever there is a complex pattern, okay, so just by using this large amount of data, we can train and then it can recognize that one. So examples for deep learning models are like the face unlock on smartphone, and then voice assistant like the Siri or Alexa that we have, right? So those are the examples that we can say for like deep learning. Again, like speech to text conversion models, and then like language translation, self-driving car. These are the examples that we can say for deep learning models. Okay. So again, the deep learning model, how it works is like so based on the data, it is going to understand the data, and then it is going to predict the one actually. So it is going to be like this. Okay, so this it is going to be classified like this, something like this it is going to do. Okay, so that is what the deep learning model is all about. So the next evaluation from the deep learning is like generative AI. Okay, so generative AI model is also a deep learning model. Generative AI model is also a machine learning model. Generative AI model is also a artificial intelligence model. Okay, so how it differs from others? Means like why it is getting that much popular now? Why the Gen AI model is being much popular than this deep learning or machine learning or artificial intelligence? Why we are saying like generative AI is going to disrupt, okay, in all the other domains or in the fields? So the reason is like Gen AI is going to create a new content by learning from the existing data. So normally DL is a technique that helps machine to learn the pattern from large data, but in Gen AI, a type of AI that can create new content using learned patterns. So that is the main difference between a Gen AI and DL. So Gen AI is going to create a new content actually. Okay, but the deep learning model, what it is going to do? It is going to give the output based on the data that is going to learn from the large data. Okay, so it is going to predict that one, just going to predict or it is going to classify that. But Gen AI model, what is going to generate the content. Okay, it is going to based on this information that we already given or learned, right? So based on that, it is going to give the or like create the content. It can be a text, it can be a video, it can be an audio, it can be an images. So it is going to generate it. That is what we are calling it as a generative AI. It's like generative, as the name says, generating the content, generating the new content. Okay, so how does it works? Okay, so for generative AI, we need to feed the data because generative AI is the model that has once it has been built, right? So it does not know anything. We have to feed the data if we want to get some answers. Okay, so we want to first give the data and then we have to train it. Okay, so now this large language models that we are calling, right? All these models are generative AI models. So these models already means like the whole data means like whatever the data from the internet, right? It is all the internet books and everything, the PDFs, everything is being given to this model and then it is being trained so that it can answer any questions, whatever we are asking. Okay, so that is what learns patterns from huge data set. Okay, uses model like transformers. Okay, so the underlying Gen AI, right, it is using the architecture called transformer architecture. So that is the difference between the deep learning and the generative AI. So what is the difference? What this transformers model works, how the architecture works? Transformer is just, it is a architecture. Okay, it is a kind of a blueprint. So all this generative AI model is being based on this transformer model. Okay, so the transformer, what it is going to do, right? It is normally in the before this transformers model, right? If you see like generative, I mean, it's like deep learning models, like we have so many deep learning models, ANN, CNN, or like RNN or LSTM. These are the models that is already exist. So what those going to do? Those models will do, right? It is going to understand based on the text, whatever the data that we are giving, right? For example, I'm saying if you are giving a sentence, okay, each and every sentence it is going to convert into numeric, and then it is going to store the data, and then it is going to give the weightage for that. But in generative AI, what it is going to do, right? If you give a sentence or if you give a paragraph, it is going to read the paragraph and then it is going to understand the meaning of it. Okay, if you say for an example, I have a book, okay, I have about like one particular topic about history. So if I read a book and then if I understand the meaning, the complete understanding of this concepts in the book, then if I ask any questions, I'm able to answer that one. Okay, so that is how GenAI is going to work. So the transformer model, how it works is like it is going to understand the meaning of it. Okay, so it is going to understand the meaning and then it is going to means like it is going to calculate the relationship between the words and then relationship between the words, and also it is going to give the weightage of each and every word. So in one particular sentence, what is the relation between from one word to another word? Those kind of relationship it is going to get calculated, and then the weightage is also given to the words and then it is going to get stored. Okay, so that is the reason it has been like generating the new content. Okay, so generate content based on prompt or input. Okay, so the prompting is nothing but it is an query or like the input. Okay, so that we are going to ask to the LLM model or like a generative AI model. Okay, so if I want to know something, if I want to get some information from the generative AI, I can use the tool called prompt. Prompt is nothing but like user input. So we can define, means like we are going to discuss about like a prompt. Okay, so prompt is nothing but the user input. That is what we are calling it as a prompt. So we are going to give the input and then based on this query, it is going to give the output. Okay, so that is what the generative AI model is all about. Okay, due to time constraint, we are not able to go in detail about it. So this is an overview of generative AI. So you can learn like a lot of, now you can go to ChatGPT or Gemini and then you can learn more on it actually. Okay, so again, like you can see, right, like now there are a lot of GenAI models are there in the market. Okay, the popular are like ChatGPT from OpenAI, and then Gemini is the another one that is from Google. Okay, so likewise, every other tech giants is been releasing their model, and also there are so many open source models also available. So Gemini models and then ChatGPT models, right? So those are like not open source; they are proprietary one. There are set of models we have like open source also. We have Llama is the one from the Facebook, right? So that has been free actually. Okay, so likewise there are so many models are there. We have those models in the Hugging Face. Okay, we will discuss about those things in later. Okay, so again, like for the text generation, we can use this model like ChatGPT or Gemini. We can use that one. For image generation, okay, so for that we can use this model called DALI or like Midjourney. For generating the code, we can use like Copilot. Okay, and then audio video, Sora is again from the OpenAI. The music gen is the tool or the model that we can use. Okay, so there are so many models, models that is there in the market. Okay, so we'll discuss in detail about that one. Okay, so one thing about GenAI is like there are so many terms that has been there. Okay, means like if you in the organization, right, you might hear about these terms LLM or like the prompt engineering or like the RAG or like the SLM, the agentic AI. The agentic AI is the now is a trend actually, and then fine tuning. So what is like multi-model, the vector database, embeddings. Okay, so these are the common words that you might hear about it. Just we want to understand this one. When we want to get into this GenAI or like we want to understand the concept of GenAI, we want to understand these terms. So that is the thing, that is the reason just we have listed out. Okay, just I'll give an overview of what it is. Okay, and again these terms, right, we are going to see like the terms like LLM, the prompt engineering, and then like RAG. Okay, and so those things are vector databases, embeddings. I'll also show it in the code. So during the project explanation, I'll also show like how we can use that one in the code. Okay, so LLM, as I mentioned, like large language model. Okay, so the large language model is to process and generate text in a larger content with complex model output. Okay, so this large language model. Language model, what it means is like it is going to generate the output actually. Okay, so we can give the input. Okay, so it is going to read the data, going to process it, or like it understand it, and then based on that, it is going to give the output. Okay. So the large language models contains like billions and billions of parameters. Okay. So there are so many large language models out there. Okay. So large language model is also part of generative AI. It is also using the architecture called transformer architecture. So if it is a GenAI model, all the models are using transformer architecture. Okay. So this means like LLM, where we can get that one, how we can use that one. So if you want to use directly, if you're ready to pay, you can go to Google, and then you can register it, and then you can get it. Or like in OpenAI also, the ChatGPT is also providing this one, and then DeepSeek. So many providers are there. So where we can go, and then we can pay and get it. So apart from that, there are like a free version is also been there. Okay, so using like Hugging Face, we have the free versions are there where we can download, and then we can also train the model, and then we can use it. Okay, so LLM, what it is going to do is like it is going to generate the text output. Whatever the input that we are giving, we can give the input in the form of like a PDF, or like we can give in the form of like so something like documents. Okay, so it is able to process, and then it is going to give the output. Okay, so whatever the query that we are asking, based on that, is going to give an output. Okay, so the next one is like prompt actually. So prompting is nothing but it is the input that is being given to the LLM model. So based on this input, we are going to get the output. Okay, so there are different types of prompt is being there. So like one shot prompt, few shot prompt, zero prompt, chain of thought. There are different types of prompt is being there. Okay, so but again, we have to define 3 rules while defining the prompt. So the first is like a role. Okay, we have to explicitly say, so what we are actually, what we are looking. So say for an example, I'm a data engineer. I want to know about like so data pipeline, understand the data pipeline, or like Azure data engineering services. First, we can define the role, saying like consider like you are a data engineer. So consider like I'm a data engineer. Something like we have to set a role. That is the first rule. The second rule is like we have to define the action or like goal, what we are trying to get out of this LLM. Okay, so that is what the action or like goal we have to define clearly. The third is like what is the output format that we are looking for. So these are the 3 things that we want to keep it in mind while writing the prompt. Okay, so prompt is just it as a text actually, but again we have to define it. Okay, so for example, okay, so there is a ISRO scientist has been there. Okay, the ISRO scientist. Okay, so someone calls and then ask him to explain what is rocket. Okay, so how he can explain actually. Before that, he wants to know who is asking this question, whether he is a student, whether he is a just he's a professor, or he's a scientist, or he's like a kid, or like he's a housewife. Okay, so based on that only he is able to answer the same way. So first we need to set the role. Okay, second we have to define like what we are looking for from the prompt, from the LLM. The third is like what format we want to get the output. So those 3 things we have to define it in the prompt, so that we can get the exact result. Even if you are giving something like a simple English sentence, whatever you are thinking, right, you can type and then you can get the output. So it is not able to give the result accurately. Okay, if the prompt is being very clear, and then whatever you are expecting, right, you can clearly define this in the prompt, you can get the output in a exact manner. Okay, so that is what the prompt. Okay, so it is going to do everything like whatever the output format you want. Say for an example, you want to output format in the JSON format. Okay, and then you can give some examples and then say that I want to have this output in that particular format. Okay, so in that particular format it is going to give the output. Okay, we will see that one. Okay, the user input. In addition to that, we can also define the role for it. Okay, in the coding, I'll show it to you. In the project walkthrough, I'll show it to you. So how we are defining the prompt. Okay, prompt is simple actually. We don't want to get confused on that one. So just an instruction that is being given to the LLM to get the output. That is what the prompt is all about. Okay, so GenAI already we have discussed in detail. So the next one is like RAG, Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Okay, so that is what RAG is all about. Okay, the expansion of RAG is all about. So this is like adding an external knowledge. Okay, if I go to LLM, if I ask a question about like tell me about Srinivasan. It is not able to say like who is Srinivasan. He does not know that one. Okay, so in this case, what I can do, I have a profile. So what I can do, I can upload the profile. I can give this profile as a document to the LLM. And then if I ask a question, so first it is going to get the data from the document, and then it is going to process the data, then it is going to give the result. So that is what the RAG is all about. So one of the best example for RAG is like Notebook LM. Okay, if you are already used that one, right? It's a Google product. Okay, so if you go to the Google product and then, if you go to this Notebook LM, and then if you upload your resume, okay, and then if you ask any questions, okay, what is my skill set? Okay, how many years of experience I have? Just a simple resume if you upload, and then if you ask the question, it is going to answer all those things. How it works is like, so this LLM does not have your data. What we are doing is like, whatever the data that we have, right? So we are giving this data in the form of files, or like in the form of images, in the form of audio files. We can give this information to this LLM model, and then we are querying the LLM model and then getting the output. So that is what the RAG is all about. We are going to see this example programmatically, how we are going to enable or like use this RAG. Okay, so that is we are going to see. Okay, and again the parameters. Okay, so you might hear, right, like LLM model, chat GPT, or like Gemini models, or like with billions of parameters are there, like 7 billion parameters, or like 20 billion parameters this model consists. So what does this parameters is all about? So parameter is used to tune the AI with right input value. Okay, it is very simple actually. So it is going to understand whatever the data we have given, right? So based on this data, it is going to understand the relationship between this data, and then it is going to create it as a parameter. Okay, so it is going to create the parameter. The weightage is going to be the parameter, and then the relationship between these words, that is going to be a parameter. Likewise, there is going to have like billions of parameters that is going to get created. So these parameters, how it is going to get used, right? Whenever we are giving a query, okay, it is going to use this parameter, and then it is going to tune the output, and then it's trying to give the correct output. Okay, it is very simple. Like if you are preparing a dish, right? If you are cooking some dish, we want to put some salt or spices, how much salt we want to put, how much spices we want to put. So that is salt is one parameter, like spices, the amount of spices, amount of salt is these are the parameters. Okay, so if you're hearing a music, you want to adjust that one. So adjust the sound, adjust the bass, adjust the tremble, right? This adjustment is the parameter. So for this particular input, so once it gets the output, like what are the tuning that we need to do? So there are like billions of parameters are there. For that particular input, what are the parameters that is being used to get the accurate result? That is what the parameters is all about. So if you have like huge number of parameters, okay, it is going to have like, it is going to take like processing, it is going to be more complex actually. Okay, and also it is going to give an accurate result. And then it is like, because it has a vast amount of data that is going to get stored. So that is what the parameter is all about. And then the next one is like SLM, small language model. Okay, it is a lightweight model. We can also call it as a lightweight model. Okay, so this LLM, what is the difference between LLM and SLM? Is like LLM model has been like having huge number of parameters. If it has been more than like 10 billion parameters, then we can say that is a LLM. If it has been less than 7 or 7 billion or less than 7 billion parameters, then we can say it is a SLM, small language models. So this SLM models we can run in our local machine, or we can run it in our laptop. Okay, but LLMs, it needs GPU. Okay, it required like a high CPU, and also it is required like a high GPU. It is going to require, and also like RAM is also going to be very huge. But SLM, if you have like 8 to 16 GB of RAM, if you have, we are able to run this SLM. Okay, it has been lightweight, and also it has been faster. Okay, so that is what we are also going to see SLM model. We are going to download this SLM model in our laptop, and then we are going to run this SLM model, and we are going to give the prompt, and then it's going to get the output. It is very simple steps. Within the 4 to 5 lines of instructions, we are going to execute it. Okay, and then the next one is like fine tuning. Okay, so fine tuning is nothing but it is like So training the model actually. Okay. So as I mentioned, right, there are like a lot of open source model. It has been there. Okay. All the LLM models, open source models are there. Okay. Those models, what we can say, like it is a foundation models. We can download the foundation models. Even it can be a LLM model or it can be SLM model. Okay. We can give the data and then we can train the model. We have some personal data we have, or like organization has their own data, right? We want to train the data, or just we are going to ask questions about our company product. Okay, so or like internally about, we have a documentation, the process documentation, those things the LLM is not able to understand. Okay, so for that, what we can do, instead of giving it as a document, we can give the data and then we can train the model itself. Okay, we can train the data, and then what we can do, we can host the model, so that we don't want to upload any document. Simply we can ask the questions, it is going to answer because it is being trained with our data. So that is what fine tuning is all about. Fine tuning is like retraining the data, I mean retraining with our own data. That is what fine tuning is all about. So training and fine tuning has been two different things actually. So training in the sense, we can build the model from the scratch. If you train, then we can say like training the model. Already the model has been built. This foundation model is already been there. We are downloading the model and then we can give our own data and then we can retrain the model. That is what we are calling it as fine tuning. In LLM context, we can say fine tuning is nothing but training the data, training our means like personal data or like organization data, private data that we can train, and then based on that we can ask a question and then it's going to get answered. Okay, so that is what the fine tuning is all about. So the next thing is about like agentic AI. Now you can hear about this term, right? Like agentic AI. That is the one that has been more popular. Okay, so what is this agentic AI? Normally, LLM, what it will do, if you ask any question, it can answer. That's it. It is going to do. It does not do any action. If you say, right, if you go and write the data into the database, read the data from the database, or book a ticket, those kind of things, LLM does not do. If you ask a question, it is going to give the reply. It is going to give the output in the form of like text or images or videos or something like that. Okay, so the agentic AI, what it is going to do, right? So it is going to use internally, is going to use the LLM, and then it is going to do the reasoning. Automatically, it is going to decide what needs to do. Okay, so that is what the agent is all about. Okay, AI system performing task autonomously. Okay, it is going to decide what needs to do. For example, okay, I have a database, means like I have two databases. So something like Oracle database, I have like Teradata database. Okay, so I want to copy the data from one database to another database. I'm not like a pre-coding actually. I want at the runtime, I want to decide. I'm saying to the or like the agent, copy the customer data from Oracle database and then write it into the Teradata. Or like I can say like read data from Teradata, the transaction data, write it into Oracle. Likewise, there are so many databases are there. So based on the input, it is going to decide. The decision is being taken by the agent. Or like this is agent, what it literally is doing, it is going to use this LLM and then it is going to decide. And then based on that, it is going to redirect actually. So it is going to decide whether to use Oracle to read the data, or like whether we have to go to Teradata to read the data. Okay, so that is what agent is all about. Okay, so not only this, so it is, there are like lot of databases are there. Okay, so for like hotel booking APIs are there. Okay, so hotel booking, flight booking, everything, right? So if you give information, check the flight availability for means like to USA or like to New York, something like this. If you ask the question, so first what it will do, it goes to the LLM, means like the agent is going to decide which API need to call. So this is about like booking the tickets. It goes to the flight booking website. This calls the API. Okay, likewise hotel booking. So next is going to search for the hotel booking. So that is what it is like. We can say autonomously it is going to decide. Okay, so this here there is a model internally that is using the model called React model, REACT. So a React model is nothing but reasoning, acting, and observing. Okay, so first it is going to think. That is what reasoning. So by which one we have to use, what action that needs to be taken. So that is going to decide. Then it is going to act actually. Then it is going to observe, the output is going to observe that one, and then again it is going to repeat. So that is what the agent is all about. It is very simple. Now we have a lot of frameworks is also been there. So we can use this, and the LangChain is the one of the framework we can use. We can write the code in Python and then we can use that one. We have like a LangGraph is been there. So without writing code, no code or low code, okay, we can also use this UI and then we can create a agent. Okay, so that is what like now even this is all related to this agent only. If you learn the concept, you get into this, and then if you learn, right, there is a concept called MCP, okay, model context protocol. So that is what it is all related to agent. Okay, that is what is going to get more popular because it is going to autonomously, it is going to work. It is going to decide what we want to do. If you ask some questions, right, it is going to do all the tasks for you. It is like a personal friend for you. Likewise, it is going to be there. Okay. Okay. So the next good to know terms actually. So the multi-model. What is this multi-model? A model that generates audio, video, images, or like code. Okay. So that model, one particular model generates all this thing. Then we can call this as a multi-model. Okay. There is a model called LLaVA model is there. That is a multi-model actually. Okay. So likewise, there are so many models are there. Okay, so a model that generates different types of data, then that we can call it as a multi-model. Okay, LLM models are only generates text output. Just it is going to summarize, it is going to generate the code. Okay, it is going to brief the data or like read the content and is going to give the summarized data. All those things it is going to do, but only the text output is going to give. Okay, but multi-model, it is going to give output in different format. It is going to generate an audio. It is able to generate a video. It is able to generate a image. So that is what multi-model is all about. Okay. So there is a next term called hallucination. So hallucination is like nothing but like it is if you are asking some questions to the LLM is giving the wrong output or like factually incorrect. So that is what we are calling it as a hallucination. Say for an example, I'm asking the question, who won the World Cup for 2024? Okay, so it strongly says Brazil won the World Cup. Okay, so that is the information is given, but the information is incorrect because Brazil didn't participate in the 2024 World Cup. So that information we can call it as a hallucination. So the incorrect input that is being given by the model, GenAI model, we can call it as a hallucination. Okay, so the next is all about vector database. Before vector database, let's understand about like embeddings. Okay, so embedding is nothing but it is like whatever the input are like whatever we are giving, right? Like the input, the form of Word document or like in the PDF to train the data to the model, right? So first what it will do, right? It is going to chunk the data, means like split that one, and then it is going to convert into a embeddings, means like numerical values. Numerical values. What is this numerical value is going to contain? As I mentioned, the relationship between the words, the meaning of the words, everything it is going to be generated, and then it is being converted into a numerical value. So that numerical value is we are calling it as an embeddings. Okay, so in the LLM model, it has been stored as the meaning, the features, and everything is being stored in the form of embeddings. Even if you are using RAG, right, like means what is RAG? Retrieval-Augmented Generator. I have a personal document or like I have a personal information that I want to give to the model as a document, and then I want to ask a question. So how this RAG model works is like it has been first the RAG data, whatever the data that we are giving, it is being converted into an embeddings, and then it is going to get stored into the memory of the system or like computer, whatever we are working. Okay, or like in the database. Okay, so just when we ask the question, it is going to first search in the embeddings, means like the information that we have stored in the form of embeddings, right? First it is going to search in that one, get the data, and then give that information to the model, means like LLM model, and then it is going to refine that, and then it is going to format it, and then gets the output back. So that is what RAG is all about. In the RAG, the embedding is being used. So again, so we can say like computer understands zeros and one, right? Likewise, LLM model understands like embeddings. Okay. And then the vector database. Okay, vector database, now it has been getting more popular, right? So vector database, here we can store all type of data. Means like we can store the images, we can store this text, we can store the audio files. What we can do, right? Again, we have to convert the data into an embeddings. So when we convert the data in the embeddings, in the sense in the numerical format, okay, the relationship and then like the meaning, everything is been converted into a numerical format, and then it is going to get stored in the vector database. Okay, why we were using vector databases? Like, it is the search has been more faster. When we search for anything, right, it is not only search for the based on the key, it is going to give the context. Based on the relationship also, it is based on the meaning also, it is going to search, and then it is going to get the output. So that is the reason we are converting into embeddings, and then we are storing into the vector database. Vector database supports all kind of embeddings actually. You can convert the embeddings, and then we can store it. So if you have a file, PDF file, as such, you can convert it into embeddings, and then we are able to store that one. We are also going to see an example how to convert, and then we can store the data into the vector database. There are popular vector databases. Most of the vector database are open source database. You can easily install that one. So the Chroma database we have, BB8 we have, Pinecore we have. There are so many open source databases there. We can use vector database, or we can also use this graph database, because search is being more faster when we are using vector or graph database. So that is the reason the vector database is being used. Okay, so this is about the terms, that is a generic terms about generative AI. Okay, so with that, let's move on to the next. I think we are bored with this text are like the PPTs, right? So we will see this hands-on project actually. So this is about like real-time call center ticket routing project. So that has been powered with GenAI actually. Okay, so here like end-to-end the project, I give a walkthrough on that one. So this is like automating the call center operation to perform real-time routing, intent identification, prioritizing using GenAI. Okay, so we can consider like there is a ticketing system from the service provider, internet service provider. I have an issue. I am a customer. My internet is not working. Okay, so what I can do, I can go to the means like the service provider's website, and then I can raise a complaint. That is what we can call it as a ticket. Okay, we can raise a complaint. Okay, once we raise the complaint, okay, how it is going to route it? Just it is go to, and then store the database, and then it is going to assign the priority, and then how. So what is the category of the ticket? So those things we are going to identify dynamically. We are going to identify using LLM. So that is what this project is all about. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Okay, let me explain this project. Okay, how it works. Okay, so this project contains like multiple modules. So this is the first module. Okay, so this entire project setup we are completely deployed and deployed in Azure cloud actually. Okay, so here you can see, right, the HTML pages has been placed inside the Azure ADLS. It's like a bucket. You people are aware of it, right? It means like Azure data lake. Here in Azure, we can call it as a data lake or blob storage. We have stored all these HTML files into this one. And then whenever we are clicking any button, right, we need to call the function to the backend or like the middleware function to process the data or like getting the data from the database, right? So those things we have used, like whenever the button, any button you are clicking, start listening or button, something like this, we are calling this Azure AI, Azure function actually. Okay, this is nothing but cloud function. In the GCP, we can call it as a cloud function. In AWS, we used to call it as a Lambda function actually. Okay, so instead of creating a separate or developing a separate web application, okay, so in the middleware or something like that, so we are using this Azure function. This is an API again. We can use it as an API whenever the click button has been happening. So we can call that function, and then we can process the data. Whatever we want, we can do that one. Okay, so let me this is here we have used Azure function, and then here inside the Azure function we are using this GenAI. It means like Gemini LLM model that we have used over here. Okay, so here what we are doing is like we are implemented the code, okay, to call this API, means like a Gemini API, and then we can pass this data to the Gemini API, and then we can get the output. Okay, so let me explain that one. Okay, so the customer the customer comes to this ticket management system, and then he is saying like he want to raise a ticket. So what he can do, right? He don't want to type anything. Simply he can click the start listening button, and then he can talk about the issue. Okay, so he can say like whatever he wants. He's saying like, hey, my internet is not working for last 3 days. I'm really feeling very bad. Please help to fix this issue as early as possible. If you speak something, right, it is going to convert it into a text, and then it is going to display it in the text box. Okay, so as such, we are not able to submit because we need to format the content, because it is not like whatever we are speaking, right? It is not properly, we have not given the text. Okay, so what we are doing is like we can have the button called rephrase and format. Okay, while clicking the button, what it will do, whatever the text here we have, right, we are sending to the Azure function. So the description, as a description, the whole description we are sending to the Azure function, and then we are calling this Gemini API. Okay, so and then we have defined the prompt saying like this is about the customer description about the issue. Okay, so please format, and then you can correct the grammar and then give the output. Okay, so what it is going to do, LLM is going to process this data based on this input, whatever the user output, and additionally we are also defining the rules, right? So it should be like customer issue description. There should not be any grammar issues. You can clear all the grammar issues. So those kind of instruction that is being given. Okay, so that is what like input and also instruction. That is what like prompting we are saying. So we can give it, we can pass this prompt to the LLM. LLM is going to format the data, correct all this. Even if the grammar issues, everything is being corrected, and then it is going to return the formatted output, and then it is going to display it in the text box. Okay, so once this text box, that is what this process is all about. You're clear, right? So it is very simple. You can go to the ticket management system, start clicking that one. Okay, and then you can voice out whatever the issue you have. You can voice out. That speech is going to convert it, and then automatically it is being printed as a text in the text box. So then you can click the rephrase and format button. Okay, it is going to call the Azure function, and inside the Azure function we are calling this Gemini API, and then it is going to format the data, correct the data, and then it is going to give the output over here in the text box. Then we can submit the request. Clear with this? So let me show the demo so that you can understand. Are you able to see my screen? The browser, Chrome browser, are you able to see? See, everyone is able to see, right? Okay, fine. Let me share that one. Okay. One second. Screen. I can select the entire screen option. HR. I hope now you are able to see. Okay, so this is the screen. Just it is like hosted in Azure. Even you can also access this one with this URL. You can also try access this one actually. Okay. So the HTML files are there in Azure Blob Storage actually. Okay. So what we can do, as I mentioned, so simply you can click the button, and then you can talk whatever you want to. You have an issue, right? You can talk to that system. It is automatically going to recognize this audio, and then it is going to convert the speech to text, and then it is going to display it over here. Okay, while clicking the rephrase and format button, what it is going to do, as I mentioned, this description has been sent it to the Azure function. It has been running on the Azure cloud, and then it is going to call this Gemini API, okay, and it is going to format the data and then clear all this means like wrong words if you're using, or like if you are wrong word, the sense like spelling mistakes are there in the words, it is going to correct all those things, and then it is going to give a clear formatted data. Okay, so that is what it's going to do. So let me start on this one. Hi, I have an internet issue for last 3 days. Please help me to fix the issue as early as possible. I really feel very bad about this. Help me to fix soon. Thank you. So this is the one I have given, right? So this is whatever I have spoken that has been converted into a text, and then it is displaying here. But this information is not in a proper format, right? Simply what I can do, right? I can click this button. Okay, so now it is going to call this Azure function. It is going to format, means like it is going to internally, it is going to call this LLM, and it is going to format it, and then it is going to give the output like this. Now you can read that one. It has been more meaningful, right? Subject is like internet outage. The user has been experiencing internet problem for the past 3 days and require urgent assistance to solve the issue. Clear with this, guys? So this is what we are doing in the background. As I mentioned, we are calling the Azure function. Inside the Azure function, what we are trying to do. So that is what here in the code we are doing that one. Okay, so here there is a format API is being there. I don't want to get into more details. Simply I'm showing like, okay, this is a format ticket. Okay, so we are getting that one. This is the prompt I'm saying. Okay, the user input is being adding over here. So we can say like the following is a user raw speech. Okay, please identify the subject of the issue. Okay, rephrase and summarize the result as a clear description. Return both fields in a JSON format with key, subject, and description. Okay, and then the input, whatever the input we have means like converted and then placed in the text box, right? So that is what this input is all about. So this prompt data, we are calling this generative API model. You can see, right? We are getting the key Gemini API key, and then we are using the model called Gemini model, and then we are passing this one to the prompt. Once we pass the input, it is going to give the response, the output in this format. So that is what I'm mentioning, right? Subject and description in a JSON format is going to give. Okay, so from that format, we can extract the data and then we can return the result. Okay, it's very simple actually. Okay, now we are using this LLM inside our code actually. Inside the Azure function, we are using it. Okay. Okay, so then we can submit this ticket. Actually, this is the first module. I hope you are able to understand this, how it works. Okay, so let's go to this one and then understand while submitting what is going to happen. That is fine. Now it has been formatted. While submitting this request, what is going to happen? That's what we are going to see. Can go to the next slide. So everyone able to see the whole screen, right? Means the PPT also now you are able to see, right? Okay, yeah. Okay, now I'm clicking the button, submit button. So this is we already seen, right? Like while clicking this recording button, it is when we speak something, it is going to convert it into a text and then it has been displaying it. Okay, so while clicking the submit button, what happens? Okay, so while clicking the submit button, again we are calling this Azure function. Okay, rephrased or formatted text, right? Like whatever rephrased or formatted text, we are passing that to the Azure function. So the Azure function, what it is going to do, right? First, it is going to create a table format, means like structured data, means like I'm going to put an insert into the Azure SQL, means like MySQL database I'm using over here. This is Azure SQL. Okay, it is running on the Azure SQL. MySQL has been running there. So just I'm writing the data into the Azure SQL. Okay, so after that, what I'm doing is like I'm also pushing this data, convert this data into a JSON format after writing the data. So what I'm doing, I'm converting this into whatever the input that has been given, right? The description, right? And then the title, means like the title, subject, and the description. I'm also pushing the data as a JSON format, converting into a JSON, and then pushing into the Azure Event Hub. So Event Hub is nothing but it is one of the service in Azure. It is a messaging system like Kafka, like RabbitMQ. So there are like so many messaging system has been there. So messaging system is nothing but like if you go for a booking a ticket, okay, train ticket, right? There is a queue is going to be there. Okay, so we can stand on the queue. Likewise, this is a queuing system actually. Okay, so we can push the message into the queue. Okay, any real-time processing that we are going to do, right? We are going to always read from the messaging queue system. Real time, if you want to process the data, always there is a messaging queue is going to be there. Okay, so likewise, the messaging system in Azure is Event Hub. Okay, the same thing if you're in GCP, we have a messaging system called messaging service called PubSub. In AWS, we have the Kinesis. Okay, so equivalent to that, in Azure, we have Event Hub. So whenever there is a message, I'm converting the message and then I'm pushing that particular message. That message, what is going to contain? The message is going to contain like the description and then the title. What is the title of this one? It is going to be there. And I'm pushing the message into a JSON format, writing into a Event Hub. That is what we are calling it as a payload. Guys, understand this? So here, once it has been there, I can get the data as an output in the another form and just list, I can get that output. Okay. So here, what we are going to do, we will see that one, how it works. Again, I can go back to this one. I'll submit the ticket. Okay. So before that, I can also explain one more module. So this is in the Event Hub, what is happening, what we are trying to do in the Event Hub. That is what we are going to see. Now the entire data has been returned. Now you can see, right? So it is like we have a channel from where we are getting the data, and then what is the status, and then when it has been created, description and the title. Subject is the title we have. Okay, this is going to insert it into the table, and then we are generating a report. Okay, so that is fine. What we are trying to do in the data that has been there in the Azure Event Hub. Okay, so that is what this module is all about. So in the Azure Event Hub, what we are doing is like we are from that messaging queue in the real time, whenever the message comes into this one, right? The Spark means like the Azure Databricks, okay, the PySpark code, the streaming code that we have written, and then it has been running on the Azure Databricks. So it is keep on looking, any data is being coming on the Event Hub. If any data comes in, right, immediately it is going to pull the data and then it is going to process it. So in this PySpark code, what we are doing it. Okay, so here what we are doing is like whenever the message comes in, we are reading the message. What the message contains, it contains the subject and the description. Okay, so what we are doing is like we are calling the LLM over here, and then we are passing the description, and then we are trying to get the sentiment score, and then what type of message means like what is the priority for this. Okay, means like it is a low priority or like a medium priority or high priority. Okay, again also like whether the customer has been feel very bad or customer has been neutral or customer has been feel good about it. Okay, so that is what we are going to use this GenAI LLM model, and then we are going to get that output, and then we are going to write the data into MySQL. Okay, into this table we are going to write it. Okay, so immediately you are able to see that one, right? Output in the once it is like within a second is going to process. So if you click the button, submit button, okay, first what it is going to do, it is going to get the data, process the data, and then write it into MySQL. And same data is also pushed into the messaging queue. So from the messaging queue, real-time system is going to, means like the Azure Databricks is going to read the data, process it using LLM. It is going to generate the sentiment score, and also like it is going to generate the priority. So low priority or like medium priority, these kind of things it is going to generate it, and then it is going to write it into the SQL table. Guys, understand this? So this is what we are going to see the demo now. Okay. While submitting the ticket, what is happening? Now I have this ticket. Now I'm going to submit it. Okay, you can see, right? The internet outage is the one. Okay, so I submitted. Okay, ticket has been successfully submitted. If I go on list, right, I'm able to see the ticket. Okay, so internet outage, you can see. Immediately you can see, right, it has been calculated. Voice, but this is like medium priority, neutral. It has been automatically, it has been calculated. Okay, so again, I can go and then I can give some good review about this one. Okay, I can again start. I can say like, hi. So hi, hello. My internet is not working for 2 days. The issue got fixed. Really feel good. Thanks for timely support. Okay. So I can rephrase this one. Okay, result, the express gratitude of timely support. If I submit this request, you can go after that list. Okay, you can see, right, like it is unknown and null. You can see, right, unknown null, because it is in process. It is not able, it is not completed. The process is not completed because it goes through the real-time processing. If I refresh this one, you can see, right, you can get the data. Now you can see, right, it is like, again, it is also getting it as neutral actually, express the gratitude, but it is going to be like good or something like this is going to get. Okay, so it is now, it is medium and it is going, it's happening. Okay, so how it has been working, as I mentioned, right, again, the cloud function that I'm calling while submitting that one, here I'm calling this create voice ticket is the message that we are getting. What I'm trying to do is like whatever the message we have, just we are converting an SQL query and then we are writing into an SQL. And also we are using a event hub connection and then we are pushing the message into event hub. Okay, so this message is also converted into a JSON format and then it is going to get pushed into the event hub. Okay, so what happens is like in the event hub, so in the Azure we have this event hub. Event hub. You can go to the event hub. You can see, right, this is the event hub. Under this ticket is the one, like you can see there is a ticket queues there. Here I'm writing the data, all the data I'm writing into this one, in this queue. Okay, so here the data has been written. Now using Databricks, okay, you can see, right, this is the Databricks one. Okay, so this is the real-time processing. It has been running actually. Okay, it is a long time, means like it is a real-time process. It is continuously running. You can see, right, it is continuously running on that one. Okay, it is keep on running. Okay, whatever the data it has been processed, you can see the data over here. How many number of records that has been processed? You can go to the raw data, whatever the data that we have passed, right? So it is going to have all this data over here. Okay, so the logic also, this is a Spark code, is totally on a Spark, actually Spark Databricks code over here. Okay, so we are using like again Google API key, and then we can read the data, whatever the JSON data, right? We are converting into the schema. You can read from the event hub, converting into a schema of that one, and then we are adding the column. Then we are using this generative model, Gemini model. Okay, so we are doing that one. This is the prompt. Analyze the sentiment of the following customer support request. Request the JSON object with a single key score, with numbers between one very negative, and then like and one is very positive, -1 is very negative, and then one is very positive, where 0 means neutral. Okay, so respond only with the valid JSON like this score example we are giving. Okay, so that it is going to give the output in this format actually. Okay, so we can pass the prompt as well as the text in the sense like whatever the description that we are getting, right, from the payload is going to add, and then we are going to pass that one. So it is going to get the result. So from the result, what we are doing, we are extracting the score, and then we are adding it as a column. One column we are adding it as. So based on that, we are deciding like if it is less than minus 0.5, high or medium or low, based on the condition we are setting it up. Okay, and then it has been running it actually. Okay, so this is an example actually. You can ignore this. Okay, so now here this can be score, and then it has been running. Okay, so that is also the code that is okay, fine. Now finally what we are doing is like we are finding the priority, high, low, medium priority, and then we are writing the data into the MySQL. So here you can see, right, we are writing this data into MySQL table. Okay, so here the MySQL I connected through one. We have like the database, whatever the query we have, right? So that is there in the database as well. Okay, so this is through voice, but it has been there. Okay, so there is a ticket queue. Here we can have one more table called ticket queue. So here we can get that one. The sentiment score, it is now 0 actually. I don't know, like some issues are there. That's working fine, but now some issues are there. Seems okay. Okay, likewise, it is going to work. Like what we are doing is like using LLM model. We are dynamically generating the sentiment score. Okay, and then we are setting up the priority. So I don't know, means like here you can see, right? Sentiment score is like it is a data science model. Normally, it is a data science model. We want to build a model. We want to train the data to the model, and then we have to pass our input, and then we have to get it. Okay, lot of things that we need to do. Okay, so training the model, we want to understand the concept of how the NLP works. We want to know like there's like a lot of terms or like lot of means like the model information that we need to know. But here we are not doing anything. Simply we are calling this LLM model APIs. This is nothing but this is an API. We are passing the data. We are asking the question whatever we want. So it is giving the result. Okay, so we are explicitly defining it, what we want to get it, like what is the output format, what we are trying to do, everything we are giving that it as an input, it is giving that output actually. Okay. I hope you understand now what is prompt engineering. Okay, so you can get an understanding how we can use this LLM in the code. Okay. Okay, so what is this? If you see, right, like what are the benefits of using this project, actually using this LLM over here? Okay, so real-time call center monitoring and prioritization. We can dynamically do this prioritization. We can understand the customer. Not only this, we can also calculate the churn score. Even if we have a document, right, we can also pass this document to the model, and then we can use it as a RAG. Already there is a set of tickets created, right? We can take all the ticket and then we can create a document, and then we can feed it as we can write a program, and then we can store that into a vector database. Then we can also ask the question. Based on that, you can give the output based on this input. Means like we can define like this is the description, this is the sentiment score or something like this. If already we have, right, we can also give the data and then we can use that one. Okay, so here what we are trying to get out of this is like real-time monitoring and prioritization. We can set the priority of the ticket dynamically by using this LLM model. We are doing it, and then dynamically call the intent and category identification. That is also we are able to do that one. What type of category this ticket belongs to? Okay, whether it is a billing issue or it has been network issue, it is like Wi-Fi issue, it is a router issue. So dynamically based on this input we have given, right, it is automatically able to generate. So that's what we have seen. The subject, it is automatically created. It is a network outage. It is a internet issue. So it is generating that one. And then real-time reporting and dashboard. So when it is immediately, it is able to, we can see the output. Immediately it is going to assign. So not only this is the limited, means like just we have given only the part of it. So there are a lot of opportunities are there to integrate this LLM. Even we can have a, means like all this agents information we can have, which agent we want to assign, which agent is being free. So those kind of things also we can create, and then we can do lookup with that database, agent database, and then we can assign this particular to the agent. That is also we can build. Okay, so that is what we can call it as an agentic AI. We can also use agentic AI and then build that one. And again, the root cause analysis. What is the cause of this issue? Okay, so previously all these issues that we have, right, the same kind of issues that is being faced, that is already there, right? We can get the data, we can feed it to this as a RAG data, we can feed it to the database, and then we can also get the output. So what is the reason for this one? So likewise, a lot of opportunities are there to enable this one. Okay, so what ultimately we are trying to convey is in our data pipelines, okay, in the data engineering pipelines, wherever it has been possible, we can implement this GenAI. It is very simple. It is not that much complex. Okay, we can use for a lot of use cases. This is just one or two use cases that we have shown. But if you think, right, like in your day-to-day work that you are doing or the project that you are working on, so there are a lot of chances to implement this. But the thing is like the implementing this LLM or like GenAI has been very simple. That is not complex. Okay, that's what I'm trying to convey over here about this project. Okay, so now we can go to this panel discussion. We have John. Okay, so John is an expert in cloud and infrastructure management. So we are going to discuss about like currently what are the questions about GenAI people used to have. Okay, especially like the people who are working in IT. So they are getting scared about like whether this how it is going to disrupt, the AI is going to get disrupt. Okay, so just we are going to discuss about those things actually. Okay, John, you there? Okay. Yeah, thank you, John. Thanks for coming up and then taking this questions actually. Okay, sure.
I think Srini, we can enable the camera or something. Real conversation மாதிரி போனோம்னா I think we can start.
Okay, I can do that, but the problem is I have connected with my mobile network. Again, I have connected with two different meetings, right?
Start the
So that's what
camera start பண்ண முடியும்.
I can do that.
Camera unmute.
Unmute. Okay, are you able to see me?
Yeah. Okay. It's a dark screen there.
Oh, 1 second. Yeah, I hope you are able to see now.
Yeah, hi. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I mean, this is a kind of an open panel discussion where we can have some questions, which is usually people's questions. Okay, it's not generally
John,
focused
I think
from my
some of you are not able to hear you. Everyone is able to hear John voice.
Everyone able to hear me? Okay. I think most. Okay, Jay, I think maybe you can dissolve this. I mean, mute the camera. The bandwidth issue.
Come again, John.
Camera, can you off it? Switch off the camera because I think maybe bandwidth issue. Okay. So, guys, now my voice is clear. Okay, fine.
I'm able to hear you clearly, John.
Okay. So the first question is all about this internet hype. Okay, so in the social media, usually we see lots of questions. Even I myself have seen lots of questions related to this generative AI, the LLMs, the RAG concepts, which we have seen. And most of the time in the YouTube, if you look into that, the picturization is like that AI is going to steal your job. Okay, so the matter is like it is saying that AI is going to steal your job, or you may be losing the job to AI, or you may be getting replaced. I mean, AI is going to replace the human beings or something like that. So the posters, whether if you go to this YouTube or all that, we see that banners will be there, some robot will be there, and it does human
lot of
replacement. So
exercises is going on actually.
yeah. So what about this hype? So is that real? I mean, most people get into this and sometimes get irritated or sometimes get frustrated. And so what is
That is
your reply for that?
Yes, John, it is a common question. Even I had this question from multiple people on the same thing. Okay, so the answer is like 90%. The answer is no. It is not going to replace the human job, but 10%, yes, I would say. It is like AI is not going to replace the job. It is going to transform the jobs actually. Okay, so you can think like if you take the past history, right? Before computers, right? All the tasks were done manually. We used to do the task manually. So without computers, we used to do. So once the computer and internet comes, right? So it is not replacing job. Instead, it transforms the way we work, right? So like even the physician, or like if you go to the lawyers, or now if you go to the for pharma, or like if you go to any places, now the people adapt to use this computers. So it is not, the job is not going to be removed from them. It is applies to AI also.
So what you're saying is that it is not a complete replacement. So it's going to be a transformation from one way of working to another way of working.
Exactly. So for everything, AI is going to get integrated. Okay, going forward. So more than 90%, whatever we are using in our day-to-day life, right? So everything AI is going to get integrated. Just we have to adapt it actually. So and then we are also going to get transformed actually. Okay, automatically we are going to get transformed. We should embrace it actually.
Okay, so what kind of message you want to convey to people who got exposed to this AI related media content and all that? So what is that you want to put straightforward to them?
No, just you can, we don't want to get panic about that one. So we should not see AI as a competitor. We can see AI as a means like companion actually. So it makes the life, means like makes our job more easier actually. Okay, so we want to learn that one actually, like whenever we want to have a new technology comes in, right? So there is definitely there is going to have some downside of it. It is going to be, there is going to disrupt some of this jobs, but it is going to create like more number of opportunities. So as like internet comes, right? So there are like a lot of openings has been created. So some of the jobs there might some of the jobs also get means like totally it has been removed. But on the other side, if you see, right, lot of openings is going to get created. So don't want to worry about those things. Even if it is like even you can say, I from my experience, right? I started my career as a PHP developer. Okay, again, like 15 years back, I have started the career. Okay, 17 years back, I started as a PHP developer. Still, PHP has been there. Okay, so PHP has been there. Even the popular companies like Facebook is using PHP. Okay, so likewise, the Slack is using a PHP. Okay, like Oracle, you can say, right, Oracle, or like you can say mainframe is the best example we would say. Mainframe has been there for like more than 40 years of time. Still mainframe has been there because even they are not able to migrate into this because a lot of new technologies has been coming in. Now the people are there to work on this mainframe technologies. So the thing is like what I would say is like don't worry about all these things. So there are like always there is a means like whatever you are doing, you are going to do that one, but you are going to get transformed. If you are a developer, you are going to be a developer. So something it is going to get transformed. Even the companies are also going to train you in future. That is what is going to happen. So automatically they are now it has been the evolving phase. The GenAI is in the evolving phase. Okay, so there are a lot of it does not get matured actually. It is keep on evolving. So once it gets stabilized, the company is going to choose the tech stack. What is the tech stack that we are going to use, and then ask the people to learn, and then ask them to upskill that one. Okay, so that is what it is going to happen. So we don't want to worry much about it actually, but we want to learn the basics of like means like what is GenAI, like where we can use that, as I shown that right in the project. So you can try to implement that one, and then you can upskill yourself, and then wherever the opportunity you get, you can try to use this one.
Okay. So, what is the timeline that you are thinking about? You said that it will fairly stabilize in a matter of maybe 1 year or 2 year or 3 years. So, what is your projection on when this gets stabilized? I mean, still
Yeah,
AI is
stabilization.
experimental. So, when it gets stabilized?
Okay, so it is going to take time, even right? Like it is, I would say like it has been fastly, it has been growing actually. So in another in 2020 means like 20 is the one it get incepted. Means like after that, if you see right, the growth has been exponential actually. So in another couple of years, I would say it is going to get mature, and then all these companies is going to start means like using this GenAI means like the agentic AI concept they are going to implement it and then has to implement even in our organization they are also start implementing that one means like wherever we means like wherever it has been possible they are trying to do that one. Now it is like now it in data engineering side it is not yet get implemented, data engineering or development side, so it is not being completely implemented. Now it is on only on the business side, so with the customer facing thing, right, like the chat bot or like voice bot kind of thing they are developing it actually. So the next phase is going to be comes inside this means like the development phase or like now itself the testing already they are doing a lot of automations using this agentic AI or like GenAI they are doing it, but it is going to so as for your for the answer to your question is like in another couple of years it is going to get stabilized and then the companies is also start using that one actually.
Maybe I think we can think of it around 2027. Maybe at that time it may be a fairly stabilized system.
Yeah.
Right?
So now the transformation get initiated. Actually, like the agentic AI is means like a 2025. We can say like this year only we hearing about this word agentic AI, right? So
Yeah.
next year it is going to be like a more generic actually. Like we have like MCP is one of the thing. Likewise, there are other concepts we are going to introduce like a generic protocol where to connect to multiple APIs. Even one more thing, if you notice, right, the API, the infrastructure, everything is going to be the same. Even if you want to use agent, the API should be there. API development should happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so in another
And
couple of years, things take
yeah.
to place.
Okay, so this is another important questions which I generally face because the first two couple of questions it was fairly straightforward, but something what I am experiencing is when I get inquiries about artificial intelligence related things, particularly from students, college
Okay.
students, or from people who are in IT, they are working professionals, maybe full stack developers or testing engineers or something like that. So all those peoples, when I explain them, particularly when they ask, I want to join some AI training program or a data science or DevOps or something like that, when I take the calls,
Okay.
usually there is a concept, I mean, understanding that they think AI is all about some kind of using chat GPT or something. I mean, in my opinion, and they think it's all about some click and create stuff and easily doing things. But when I say that you need to actually have a good programming skills, most of the time the call is getting, I mean, it's not nowhere getting into right path. Okay, so they say they are not getting interested towards that. So people believe that AI, learning AI or implementing AI or understanding AI, they think that without programming or without learning any particular technical things or technical skills, they're thinking that they can actually do something with the AI. Is that really possible, first of all?
I would say like no, it is possible, but not up to the extent I would say actually. So some simple process we can do that one. Now we have the frameworks. One of the example is like land graph is there. So where we can go to the land graph UI, where we can build this, we can drag and drop, and then we can build the agentic. Okay. Again, like we likewise, there is a Anthropic or like Anthropic has been having the framework called Crew AI. So using that, we can use like there is a concept called low code or no code framework that we have. But the problem is if you want to do some complex process or like if you want to connect some multiple sources and then if you want to do some custom logic that we want to do, right? So then definitely we need to write a code actually. So simple process, we can build that one. But if you want to do like some complex process or like even now, right, like lot of logic, even for one marketing, right? If you want to do a marketing new strategy, if you're applying, right, lot of business logic is being involved. It is not a straightforward one actually. So those things, it has been very tedious. Means like simple thing we can do that one. Simple thing like just we can drag and drop and then we can book a ticket directly without any complex process. We can use this framework and then we can build it. But if it is an enterprise level applications that we are developing, definitely we have to go with the coding actually. Means like the Python or like any one of the programming language that we need to use.
Okay, so precisely what you say is Python is the precise thing when you wanted to build your AI-based career. Okay, so
right. Yeah,
what is the level of?
Yeah, because the language has been very simple, and then like you can easily learn actually. So if you are using like Java, it is an object-oriented programming language, and you want to spend more time to learn the language itself. You have to put a lot of effort to learn the language. But Python is like a easy language. We can apply because a lot of libraries it has been there. That is the reason even like a GenAI is also using this Python, or like all this data science or like data engineering aspects, all are using this Python programming language.
Okay, so what level of, because you know most of the time when we trigger with training programs in whether the DevOps or data science or big data or whatever it is, generally people having even 10-15 years of experience comes with zero programming experience. I mean, they may have not done coding for maybe more than 10 years or 12 years, something like that. So when they come to this learning of AI related things, what you said, Python is important to do some enterprise related AI solutions. So in that scenario, how they can feel comfortable? So what is your opinion about that?
Yeah, so learning the language, the programming language, now it is not that much difficult. As I mentioned, like Python, right? So it is like a lot of tutorials are there. Like it is an interest. It's only about the interest. If I want to learn the things, right? So you can easily learn. Lot of tutorials are available. Lot of use cases are there. Just if you are spending like per day, like 30 minutes of time. So within a month, you can become a very good developer or like Python programmer. Okay. So that we have to put an effort. Without effort, we are not able to achieve anything. So we need to put an effort, and then we have to learn the language because it has been keep on changing, right? Like now this environment or like the technologies is keep on changing. Okay, but Python, if you see, right, Python has been there for a lot of means like a lot of inbuilt libraries are there, even for data science or even for the data engineering aspects are like if you want to build the UI, everything we have it in Python. So we don't want to learn the complete Python. So you want to learn this, the basics of Python. That has been enough to get started.
Okay, so what about students? Because the people who are coming right outside of the college, so when they are coming from the college immediately, I mean, they got exposed to it because even these days we are seeing in the 8th standard, 9th standard textbook itself, Python is coming. So
Python
they
is
are
there, exactly.
seeing something like that. So what is the, I mean, what I'm asking is, what is the intensity of Python intensity of Python required for student levels, and what is required for IT professional levels, maybe that 10 year or 15 years, or I mean, any degree of Python, intake need to be done. What's the degree? Can you tell anything related to it?
Yeah, so the curriculum wise, okay, so whatever they are learning in the schools, even the school, right, like even in the +2, 12th standard itself, they have a complex programs they have in Python actually. Okay, so that but one particular language, if you want to master it, then we have to explore or like we have to deep dive into it, and then we have to use this because the Python is like it is a it will support like a different programming model. Okay, it supports like object oriented or like it also support like declarative model or like a functional programming model. All type of model it support actually. So they have like the people who are from the who already have an experience, right? They are 10 years of experience in the programming, even from other technologies like Java or like Scala or like Ruby. So anything, right? They have a complete understanding of it actually. Means like how the programming language works. So the important part is like when we learn the language, how the language works. Means like when we executing the code, right? How it is going to work actually. Means like what is happening on the background, what is garbage collector. It is like what when we are creating an object, where the object gets stored. So it is a level of interest that matters actually. So even if it is a student or like even if it is a professionals, okay, so they can write the code and then they can understand it actually, like whatever the level they want, based on the project requirement. Normally in the IT field, so we are going to see like what is the requirement of the project. So based on that, we are going to learn and then we have to work. We are working on it actually. But students now, it has been like they are learning more than the IT professionals actually. But the practically they're not implementing it. But the concept wise they are learning more. But that is good actually. There are fresh minds also. They are not going to means like ask 100 questions, because as IT developer, right? If you go to and then learn new technology, we are going to correlate, because whatever the technology that currently we are working, we used to correlate with others. But for the students, it is like they can start learning whatever we are teaching. They are easily able to understand. Okay, so the answer to the question is like it is up to the individuals actually. So, but again,
Okay, so
whatever we are learning, we should be like complete understanding what's happening on the background.
So, I mean, putting this in this way, so the students and the professionals, okay, who are trying to find some career. So, how far that competitiveness between the student? Because you said that the students doing complex programs and reading complex programs, understanding that in their college or the academies and all that. So, than the IT professionals. Okay, so
Yeah.
what is that you want to tell to the IT professionals specifically to stay competitive? What is that you want to tell to the students?
Okay, for the IT people, right? The key part is the three things we have to focus. One is like adapt the technology, upskill yourself, and then align to your domain expertise with AI tools. Okay, so just we want to we have to adapt the technology. If new technology comes in, AI, generative AI has been coming in, we have to adapt that. We have to ready to take up the challenge. Okay, and then like they have to always trying to upskill, and then they have to learn this what is happening, what is the latest update on the technology. That is they have to keep looking into it, and then they have to update them, and then align that one actually. Like that is what. So if we are working on one particular domain where I can use this GenAI actually, means like generative AI model, or like so whatever the technology that is being coming in, even if you don't get a chance to use it in organization, we can try that one. Like now there is like all this models and everything, we have it in open source. Okay, we have it in cloud. We can create an instance, and then we can create an instance, and then we can do that one. So just we have to make our hand dirty actually. That is the way we have to adapt, and then we have to upskill ourselves for the IT people actually.
Okay, so coming to the next point, that is first we discussed about that how that AI is trying to transform the job and not
Yeah,
replacing human beings. And
yeah,
second, we discussed about the programming skills that yes, programming is required for AI-based solutions to be implemented in the enterprise level. And then we discussed about the students and the IT professional competitiveness. So then now the fourth question is like I will try to complete with this. Okay, so the fourth question is like how you can correlate. I mean, the biggest puzzle here is that you see a new technology coming in like 13, 14 years back or 15 years back when cloud came. Okay, cloud
yeah,
came. People spoke
yeah,
lots of things about the cloud in the YouTube and all that. And when I was entering into the career path and all that, I got so many understandings about it, but most of the things are wrong. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
when I entered into it, then I came to understand, okay, this is what it is. When we put the hands dirty, we can understand what it is. But the
yeah,
problem is today, when this AI revolution is happening, we are embracing towards focusing towards new things coming on pipeline. Every day hearing some new things in the media and all that.
yeah,
How do you correlate the existing roles? We have infrastructure engineering roles in IT, like the DevOps, the cloud infrastructure services, the platform engineering, the SRE, observability engineering. And when you go to full stack development, you have the front end, back end developers, Node.js, Java developers, UI, UX engineers. So for them, and when it comes to testing level, QA testing engineers, testing automation people, so that is in the full stack product development related things. And if you go to data engineering related things like big data, data science, or data analytics, so the related things. So what is the correlation, or you can say, how do you correlate all these? There are different domains, subdomains in the IT industry contemporarily. How do you integrate it with the infrastructure engineering roles, data engineering roles, and full stack engineering roles? How do you integrate that, or maybe correlate?
Okay. Yeah, so this is, as I mentioned, right, like the transformation is going to means like the transform is happening, right? Every role is going to get changed. So it is going to get aligned with AI actually. Okay, so from my experience, I would say like last week I had a means like there is a post in our organization, internal job openings. Okay, so the internal job opening, they are looking for a senior project manager. Okay, for managing the security applications. So that is the role. Okay, so they have defined what are the security tools they need to get an exposure. All these details they have mentioned. At the last line, they specifically mentioned like the person should have a experience in working in AI tools. Okay, so it has become like security with AI. So now it is going to get transformed with that. Okay, so whatever the role that you are playing in, okay, so they are going to ask like going forward, it is going to be like the AI is going to get attached with you with that role actually. So if you are data engineer, it is going to be a AI data engineer, or like a full stack. Now we used to call it as a full stack developer, right? Full stack, what it means is like AI is also going to part of it. Now the cloud is going to be part of our role, right? So the cloud is not now does not a separate technology. I cannot say like I have an experience in cloud, something like that. Okay, so the people who are working as a data engineer or like a data scientist or like a DevOps or like a front-end developer, they need to know about like cloud. The same way, the AI is also going to be part of it actually. AI is going to be a general topic. Everyone should know about that one. So there is a set of tools for data engineering. What is the tool we are going to use? For data science, there is a set of tools. So it is going to get transformed in the same way like AI with AI data engineer. And then like means like now this prompt engineering has been there already. It is a prompt engineer has been there. And then AI product manager is going to be there. And then ALM engineer, AI solution architect. Okay, so that is how it is going to get transformed actually.
I think, okay, so out of curiosity, I mean, this is also we are getting some many people. So one final question. So we have seen this RAG, LLM, SLM, hallucination, and I mean, lots of terminologies were there. When you presented the first slide, you gave the full explanation. Now, can you tell the layering? Because AI means it has so many things you told. So how do you put that in layers? Because this is something which I personally have that, I mean, I need to get that understanding as well as people as well. So how do you layer it? Like in peeling the onion. So you get layers, right? And what is the core? What is on the top? So how do you layer or structure it? Hierarchical structure.
Okay. So we have seen right in the first topic, the artificial intelligence is the broader topic actually. Okay, so that is the it's all the other concepts are like machine learning or deep learning or like generative AI. Yeah, everything is being comes under the artificial intelligence. Okay, so under that artificial intelligence, we have this machine learning. Okay, so the machine learning is like as I mentioned, it is going to.
So we can take artificial. I mean, sorry to interrupt. We can take artificial intelligence as an umbrella term.
Umbrella term, yes, exactly. That is the right term to use. It is an umbrella term. So under that, we have machine learning, and then the machine learning is going to get evolved. And next level of advanced level, we can say deep learning. The advancement of deep learning is like GenAI. Okay, so even that's what I mentioned. Like even GenAI model, LLM model. If you ask like GenAI model is a deep learning model, yes. GenAI model is a deep learning model. GenAI model is a machine learning model. Yes, GenAI model is a machine learning model. So GenAI model is an artificial intelligence model. Yes, it is an artificial intelligence model.
Okay.
Okay. So that is how it has been actually.
Okay.
Okay. So this is again how the layer we can see, like that is one thing, and then how we can learn this technology, GenAI technology. If you see, right, like we can categorize it actually. So what is the tool it is being used for? Now we have to define that tool. It is for development, or like it is for like monitoring, or like if it is a data ingestion, or like to produce the data. So we can categorize that one, and then we can place the tool in that particular bucket, and then we can, so we want to use this tool, or like whether we want to learn this tool, or like we can go with other tools. Based on that we can decide actually.
Yeah. Okay, I think I've triggered 4 to 5 questions, and one final question again out of one curiosity.
Yeah,
In this complete, we'll quickly close. The final question is, people, I mean, in the contemporary IT working professionals, the 10 plus years experience, it is not a very big thing for 2, 3 years or 4 years experience, but 10 plus years experience people who have been in the industry for 10 years or more than that. Now, how fast they can go and adopt this technology? Because if you talk to the students, we can, as you know, right, we can make them fastly learn something, because it's like writing in the fresh slate. But if it is 10 plus, 12 plus, 13 plus years experience, 15 plus years experience, how do you believe that the transition is going to be easy? I mean, is that easy, or is it going to be, what is your take on that?
Yeah, so exactly, that is okay. Even so from my experience, I would say, like initially when means like 6 months back, okay, I would say in the organization, if you go for any meeting or like any discussion, last means like from last 6 months onwards, or like any leadership meeting, or like review, or like showcase, if you go for anything, right? So always they are going to give preference only for the GenAI, generative AI, or like the models. They are talking about the terms, even if they are using, or like they are producing some insights, or like producing some output, or impacting the business. That is the matter actually. But always they are keep talking, and then they are doing the things. But even I got frustrated, and then I thought of like initially I would learn this before learning GenAI. So I thought of like learning first. We have to learn machine learning, and then like deep learning. At one point of time, even I couldn't spend time and then learn that one, because I'm not good at maths and all those things, because the data science, and then like machine learning are like completely on the stats and math actually. So I'm not that much good on that part. Okay, so suddenly what I thought is like, let's start learning this GNAs directly, let's see. But when I started learning, we are not using this anywhere like the maths or statistics. Just we want to understand the concept. There are a lot of tutorials out there, or we can take help from Chat GPT or like Gemini, and then we can learn that one. So just we want to, as I mentioned, right, like a RAG, the concept of RAG, and then the fine tuning, and then there are like a lot of open sources being there. We have like the Olama. There is a the open software where we can install in our system, and then that is the starting point for me. Just I downloaded first. I don't know anything about it. Just based on this documentation, I have implemented it, and then start learning it actually. But after a week, right, like after 1 or 2 weeks, I really feel good about it actually. So most of the concepts I'm able to correlate, whatever the discussion, or even in the, as you mentioned, right, in the social media, they're saying something about GenAI, or like in the about the topic. If you go to the LinkedIn, right, they are giving topics on that, right. I'm able to correlate, and then able to understand that one. So that is what, right, like within means like I don't know about like I have worked on ML models just for a Spark implementation. I have done that one, but I haven't worked on this deep learning. So here in the GenAI, as per my knowledge, there is no actually like a max or stats kind of thing that has been there. So simple programming, we can implement it. Like what are the base, we can implement it. So if it is a lang chain or lang graph, these are the terms. But if you go and see that, right, so this is a framework that is going to make our job easier while creating a program. Means like connecting to this GenAI actually. So that is what, like, even if you go and then learn the concept, right? Just we have to spend some time and then we have to learn the concepts. So that is why even the experience doesn't matter, even like 15 years or 20 years. So that doesn't matter. Actually, we have to, if you want to be in the competition, we have to update ourselves. We have to upskill ourselves.
Okay, so summarizing with all that we have discussed, so I can put it like this. So first, for the student community, because student community is the community that is greatly getting disrupted by this AI wave and all that. I mean, the freshers and all that. So for them, what we have discussed, that they have to they are already doing well in programming and all that, but they have to really find the proper career path and apply AI related things in their work. Okay, when they get a job opportunity. So that is
Exactly.
for students. Can I tell it like that?
Yes,
Take it
yes,
like that.
that's
And then for the IT professionals who are working maybe less than 10 years of experience, what you are saying is it is the transition. I mean, whether it is 10 plus years or less than 10 years or whatever it is, we have to continuously upskill. And this upskilling of AI is not difficult as like how we upskill in, I mean, something like data science or something. You learn statistics, mathematics, and all. You do lots of things, but this is a bit of easier transition. So that's what you are trying to say. Is that right?
yes, true.
Okay. So I think the conclusive point. What is the conclusion you want to provide to the audience who are watching this
Yeah. So
webinar?
the conclusion, the bottom line is like start using this GenAI. Actually, even if you are not, if you don't know the programming language or like do not know the programming language, even if you know the ML, you don't want to worry about all those things. Directly start learning the concepts, actually GenAI, and then like you can see or you can explore like what are the opportunities that you have, or like you can take the use case on your own, actually one particular use case, and then you can try to implement one single end-to-end pipeline so that you can get the concepts. You are going to learn a lot from that actually. Okay, so just you can do practically, you can do some hands-on, start using the tools, actually, like you start learning and then practically start using that one.
Any center point from which they can do some kind of a self exploration or something like that?
Yeah,
Any
so that is
center
what,
point
right?
you want?
We have a framework, means like we have a tool called Olama where we can download in our laptop and then we can run locally. So that is what we are also going to show that one.
Okay, so I think I am done for my. I think I'm done for my questions. I think we need to continue with the other topics and the second project. So I'm just stopping my camera, and I think Srini, you take care. You start from here. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Guys, whoever has questions, please note your questions. After the session is over, the explanations and the executions are over, you guys can ask the questions. Okay. So for now, just reserve
There
your
is echo
questions.
from your side, John, actually.
Okay. So.
Okay. Fine. Okay, so the next topic is about the audit project, actually, the data pipeline. Irfan, can you please take over and then walk through that project?
Hey, Srini. Sure. Thank you, Srini. Thanks for moving the control. Good evening, team. Okay, give me a second, right? John, can you please enter me inside the Gmeet also? I have raised a request for allowing me to enter into Gmeet in the name of Basit Mohammed. Can you allow me to log in there? So I'll share my screen in the Gmeet also parallel. John.
John, 1 second. One second. Are you able to share your screen, Irfan?
Okay, 1 second, Srini. Yeah. No, I'm not able to join it. John, can you allow me in the Gmeet? Sure. Okay. Again, I'll raise a request. Okay. I hope you guys are all able to see my screen in the Gmeet, right? As well, like maybe I'll share my screen in the other Meet also, right? Okay. So can you able to see my screen, team? All of you, maybe like particularly the slide where I'm into. All of you, can you see? Please, can you confirm me? Okay, fine. Let me check in the other side also. Okay, thank you. So let's proceed, team. So this is the project number 2, right? I would like to explain about the project 2, which is going to maybe help you understand about how we can implement primarily in the data engineering world, right? Particularly in a data engineering world, or you can say in a data security world, or in a kind of a multi-cloud world, or maybe you can say in a world of data governance, right? Or in the world of like data classification, how we can implement the AI solution, right? The modern AI solution in it, right? An augmented AI solution in it is the one like this project is going to talk more about. You can able to relate with our real life examples of what we wanted to do in the data side, right? Especially this project is more related to managing the data by applying the AI solutions to provide maybe a kind of the data governance solution or data masking and the data quality solutions in it. So basically, if you consider, like our case, maybe a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, and if you consider, or maybe even 2 years ago, if you consider, we used to develop our, these kind of data quality solutions or data masking or data governance, data classification, tagging, glossary building, or whatnot kind of solutions related to the allied services of data, like above and beyond activities of data. We used to do by putting a lot of efforts towards it actually. So for example, if I'm going to get some new data into my system or into my platform, right, what I have to do, I had to first analyze what type of data is that. I had to do some sort of like understanding of the data in the name of, I had to maybe like do some sort of like analysis or exploration on the data. Post the exploration, I have to find which are all the fields are there, which fields are eligible for applying the respective type of masking solutions, respective types of redaction activities, or respective types of conversion activity, right, to not enable the data for the non-intended users, non-intended personas, right? And then how we can classify this data, whether it's a kind of primarily a sensitive or a non-sensitive data, right? And then whether the data requires some quality checks, and if so, what sort of quality checks we have to apply on that. That suggestion we need to go and get on the data by manually going over in all these aspects. And that too, for each and every data set that we are receiving, every data set requires its own level of curation, own level of data analysis, own state of data masking, data auditing, or alerting mechanisms, or data governance application, or maybe like security applications and all we have to do on every data set. But now with the power of the AI, right? Maybe like one of the team members have pinged in the group even asking for what's the difference between the chat GPT or maybe like the Copilot or whatever I'm using, comparing with the AI solution. See, the chat GPT or whatever the, like the AI bots that you're using, right? That is going to help you only learn and understand and maybe like use some code snippet here and there and apply something manually, something in your real life, like to simplify your life, to simplify your work activity. But it can't help you maybe achieve the broader solution like what we are showing here. For example, Srini was showing the project number 1, where we are enabling an, like a call center automation in terms of ticket handling, right? How we are prioritizing, how we are making the tickets, maybe like the sentiment of the tickets identified in a real time, right? That can't be implemented just by using only a chat GPT solutions or whatever the solutions. That is, the chat GPT is like a layman perspective of using AI, I can say. A layman can say, I'm using chat GPT because our kids are using chat GPT, or everybody are using chat GPT for just doing some quick activities, what they want. But this is not just a chat GPT related activities what you are doing. We are doing what? Maybe we can say some part of code, whatever we developed here might have been built with the help of chat GPT. But what we have to do, how we have to use the AI is in our hand actually. It's a very, very important part for everyone to know. So here we have witnessed that, right? And as a part of project execution, where we amalgamated the cloud platform, multi-cloud platform, Azure platform, and the GCP platform, plus we amalgamated the AI solution on top of it, plus the data open challenges what we have in the market is related to governing the data, securing the data, or applying the quality strategies on the data, or maybe like auditing the data, right, and alerting the user for in case if they have any challenges in the data. Like this entire process of managing the end-to-end data management technique, other than data curation or data pipeline building, these are all the allied services we have got through the complete AI solution that is provided. So let me explain about what we are achieving here pretty directly, going into the, like the outcome of what you are going to get. Maybe then I'll explain about the architecture and other part of it. Okay. So the entire architecture I'm going to explain you subsequently, but in the meantime, first I'll just bring the, what we are achieving out of this. Okay. In the name of like data classification, in the name of or sensitivity, data sensitivity classification, in the name of data quality, or auditing, in the name of data governance, right? In the name of maybe like data masking solutions, what we are achieving out of it. I will directly, first of all, show the result. And then I'll talk about what are all some of the punching items that you have added in this particular pipeline that we have created, the end-to-end data pipeline, what we created, what we achieved in a punching factor, I'll tell you, right? The wow factor, I'll just try to bring you out finally. Okay, fine. So I'm just installing all the necessary libraries, whatever is needed, especially if you see here, right? I have all the, Google generative AI based library installed over here. And apart from that, the Azure data lake storage or file system or pandas library, whichever is needed here and there, I have just brought over in this, as a first part of installing over in this notebook basically. So, okay, what is this notebook is all about? Let me first of all tell you, because whoever does not know about this, I'll just talk about it. It's just nothing but an environment where we can write Python program or any other framework program like PySpark or whatever the pandas or any other libraries we can include here. That is the first part what I'm just trying to bring over. And it is a very, very famous tool in the market that is being used, which is nothing but Azure Databricks. You might have heard about this tool name very well in the market, right? So primarily on top of this, right, what you are going to achieve in this entire, maybe around we have 4 major modules. The 4th module comprised of the entire data governance. The 3rd module comprised of the entire data quality. The 2nd module comprised of the data masking technique, and the 1st module comprised of the data sensitivity classification methodology, what we are using. Okay. What is the first module we are doing here is, let me just show you very quickly. We are going to get any data. Okay. This is a very important point to consider. Any data that dynamically we are going to get into some storage layer. Maybe as Srini was mentioning, the data lake, we are going to get the data. Data lake in the sense, some drive we are going to get the data. You can consider like that. In a folder, in a location, we are going to get some data. Something like this, it is going to look like. Okay. So we are just going to get the data somewhere here in the Azure data lake storage. It is like a G drive you can consider. We are using G drive, right? I'm going to the storage browser, showing you the data where it is present. If you see here, this Azure data lake container, we are going to get the data from the source system. Somebody is going to send some data. Maybe it is a customer data, patient's data, product data, consumer data, logistics data, manufacturing data, any data you can consider. Doesn't matter. Okay. Our framework, whatever we developed, will work across any data type or any type of data that we are going to plug in basically. Okay. First of all, I'm just having some data over here, right, which is going to be placed in this bucket, in this particular container URL. Okay. Immediately what our code base will do, right? We have integrated some sort of triggering mechanism, some sort of like a file triggering mechanism, and the pipeline automation mechanism and all. I'll talk about that finally, right? I'll execute this project and show you finally. But what we are doing here, we are going to look for any data that is going to be generated in the source location, regardless, right? We are going to immediately pull the data and we are going to pass that file information, whatever the data that is getting generated in the source location, we are going to pass that information to our Databricks notebook, which is being powered by Python. Okay, I'm talking in a layman perspective. I know like most of you guys know about what is Databricks, what is notebook, what is Python program, PySpark program, but I'm just talking in a common perspective, right? So this notebook is going to offer you an opportunity to pass the file dynamically. For example, I hard coded here the name of the file, right? Which I'm not going to hard code. When I'm going to execute, right? Whatever the file that I place, it is going to automatically bring that file over here as a parameter to this notebook, and it is going to perform the entire opportunity of our entire activity of classifying or identifying the sensitivity of the data by reading, understanding the data, and then move the data to the respective folder, which is a kind of a non-sensitive or a sensitive folder. It is going to apply the GenAI technique. It is going to use the Gemini, Google-based GenAI technique. See, basically, we are using multi-cloud over here. For executing the entire pipeline, we are using the Azure stack, basically Azure cloud stack, such as the cloud storage, ADLS container, Azure Data Lake Storage container, Azure Data Factory, which are all very, very powerful and very important tools that is used in the market in the data engineering world, right? So the Azure Data Lake and then Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, we are using these three major components over here primarily for onboarding the data, including this Databricks and the Python notebook, whatever we have here, is going to hit the GenAI service, which is being hosted in a different cloud platform. So by that way, we are bringing multi-cloud opportunity over here. For example, if you see here, we are using something like a Vertex AI solution. Vertex AI is nothing but, like you are thinking about, we are using ChatGPT for just asking some question, right? The Vertex AI offer you all sort of like AI solution. If you see, document classification, image editing, or newsletter designing, or any sort of activity we can do with the help of this AI solution that it is providing. Okay, this is a complete AI environment where we can go and play around, including you can use it like a prompting environment, like a chat GPT, we can use this. So we have integrated along with this Vertex AI, along with this Gemini belonging to Vertex AI. It's a part of Vertex AI. Vertex AI is the larger part. Gemini is more related to the text-oriented operations that we can perform in the AI solution. So if you see here, we are hitting, if you go to the billing dashboard of this particular Google Cloud platform, right, you can see we are having the, our Vertex AI or the Gemini hit multiple times for performing all these kind of operations. If you see, we are paying money to the Gemini for using their service. Like it's a very minimum cost what you are spending. 30 rupees we have spent while we use this 365 times more than what we can expect. Actually, we are using that many number of times the cloud storage or the Gemini API and all for performing some sort of like the API hit. Basically, API hit in the sense, whatever the code that is going to run, right, it is going to hit that API layer. It is going to hit that maybe like a GenAI layer, a generative AI layer, or an LLM model what the Google have developed. We are hitting that, we are helping, or we are getting the help from the Google AI service to understand the data. Rather than we do that work, we are asking the AI to do that work, passing our data, passing our sample data or our entire data, whichever it may be, that we are receiving from the source, and asking AI to provide a solution of saying, hey, whether this data has sensitive data or not. If it is not sensitive data, then move it into the non-sensitive folder. Otherwise, move it into the sensitive folder. This is what the first level of pipeline automation, what we have made here. So let me explain the code now, or maybe I'll show you the output of the code, then I'll explain about the code. So what it is doing, it is getting executed. The code is getting executed. It is trying to find the data in the incoming folder. Basically, I'm going to store the data into incoming folder. The data, whichever is stored in the incoming folder, like for example, if you see here, I just ran the job. I mean, when I click this, it automatically ran. If you see here, whatever the data I placed here, right, that data has been consumed by this guy. And what he's doing, he's reading the data from that location and he's going and processing the data. And by how it is processing, it is passing the data to the GenAI service. It is passing the data to the, our Google GenAI service, the Google Vertex AI and the Gemini service, because I have enabled the Google Vertex AI and the Gemini service by mentioning whatever the list of like tokens and other things. If you see here, right, I'm just passing that input to the Gemini service as a prompt. So the purpose of prompt we are going to understand here. The prompt is of different type, what Srini was mentioning, right? That we have to primarily understand. The definition of the prompt engineering is very important over here. for us to maybe make use of the service entirely in a very best fashion. Like prompt is nothing but you are going to ask some question in ChatGPT, right? That is nothing but the prompt, but prompt is of different type. I'll just very quickly explain about one type of prompt so you can able to understand the rest of all in the same way. Okay. So for our simplicity purpose, for the easy understanding within the given time period, we have made this project developed in such a way to do the same kind of activity, but provide a different result, different outcome, different thought process we have applied here. Okay. Well, let us discuss about the thought process. Okay. First of all, I'm just installing all the necessary libraries. And then what I'm doing, I'm just going to ask, I'm going to read the data from my location. I'm going to identify the data from my location dynamically. Whenever we place the data in that location, automatically our, the data factory is going to take care of sends the data. We have trigger created over there. The trigger will go and look for any data is present in this location or not. Immediately it will pick the data and trigger this notebook. This notebook is going to automatically run this entire Python PySpark code is going to automatically run to take care of executing the each and every module of what we have developed. So when the module started running, the data will be passed as an argument to this particular notebook or particular module. And what this module will do, it will go and first of all have a like a definition that we have mentioned over here. We created a function over here to say what, hey, whatever the data that I'm going to give you as some input, right? The columns input, right? You read the data from that file and you pass the data to our GenAI service. So we are prompting here. So what are the types of prompt we are writing here is the first level of prompt. What I'm telling here is this is nothing but a role, or maybe in this example I don't have a role prompt. Maybe I'll show you one another example. We are telling a role, hey, you are going to play a role of a data quality auditor. So I'm going to talk about the data quality module next, but you can consider this is the way how we can do a prompt engineering. So first of all, I'm telling, hey, you are going to play a role prompt. So I'm going to give a prompt in a form of role. I'm telling, hey, you are going to play a role of a data quality auditor. Then I'm going to go with an instruction prompt. Instruction prompt represents what? I'm going to instruct, hey, please analyze the data which contains nulls or missing values or duplicate rows or inconsistent data or formatting issues or some misconfigured access roles and all is there in the data. Means, can you go and help me, like identifying those data as a culprit data? That is the second type of prompting I'm doing. Then I'm giving an input context prompt. You see here, hey, see this guys, this is A, this is A. I'm telling the context prompt. Automatically it is telling, oh, this is a context prompt Irfan. It is simplifying my life. It is telling, hey, it is a context prompt. The third prompt is context prompt. This is nothing but the context prompt. Context prompt means in what input context I wanted to give to him. I'm telling, hey, take the sample data, analyze the data quality, and then come out of the suggestion what you wanted to give. But the suggestion you have to give me in a output format. So the fourth one, if I'm going to type, it is going to tell what? It is an output prompt. So if you see directly here, right? When I go to the fourth line, automatically it is telling me what? Output prompt. So there are 4 types of prompting technique we have used here. What you have to know, what you have to learn, as John and Srini was talking about, right? You don't have to learn about maybe like data science models, mathematical algorithms or statistical algorithms, or maybe enormous number of Python functions. All these and all you don't have to worry too much, right? The very important factor you have to consider here is how, as a data engineer or as a data analyst or maybe like a production support personnel or as a like a testing engineer or as a full stack developer or as a platform engineer, DevOps engineer, testing engineer, any name you can give for. How can I apply some strategies using AI? How can I use the prompting much better, understanding how to do the prompting much better? See, this is a very simple part, very minimal part of what we have used the prompting technique. But you have a lot of prompting techniques that is available. We can make use of the environment, make use of the AI to the better extent to develop our or to simplify our life. In the other word, right? We are always afraid of AI, whether AI will steal my job. Definitely AI will steal your job or our job if we are not competent enough to, compete AI. If you don't win the race of AI, if you don't know how to instruct AI, see, here, AI is becoming a slave of me. It is not mastering me. I am telling AI, can you please do this work? Can you please go and analyze this data? I am simplifying my life by instructing the machine. But if you don't know how to instruct the machine and get the outcome derived, that is where we can find the challenge. That is where we can say like, hey, my job is going to be get stealed by AI. So understanding of AI, that to implementing that in our regular life is very important. See, I am a data engineer. I don't want to become a AI scientist. AI scientist work is developing all these models. That is not everybody go and enter into an AI scientist role means then everybody will only develop the model. Who will use it then? Right? Everybody go and work as a manufacturer. Then who will go and make use of the product? Right? So we are going to be a product user. How we can use the product in our domain is very, very important. So for example, our domain is data domain. Let's assume we are having a lot of challenges in managing the data. For example, all of a sudden some data is going to be placed in a location. Okay, I have to sit and open the data, understand each and every column, right? Find is there any sensitive data is there in this data set. For example, this is the data I'm going to get. Okay, this is the customer data I'm going to get. This customer data contains some sensitive information like social security number, some credit card number. I have some other information like maybe I would say like maybe email address. It should not be openly given to everybody because they will start send marketing emails to our customer, right? So I wanted to maybe do the masking activity on it, or I wanted to first of all identify this file contains some sensitive data or not, or maybe let's take another file, right? This file contains sensitive data or not, I wanted to know. This file is a pretty direct transaction data. We don't have any sensitive data in it. We have only ID columns. We have only number columns and some value columns and all. This is not a sensitive data. So if I have to understand whether it's a sensitive data or not, I have to put a lot of time and effort. What I'm going to do, hey, can you do this work for me? I'll tell you how you have to do that. That is what I'm prompting here. I'm telling, hey, with the given list of columns, identify which one may be containing sensitive data or personal information data, personal healthcare data, or financial details, something like that. I'm not telling everything. AI understands. If I give some input, it will understand. Oh, like this, I have to check all the other sensitivity data. It will understand automatically. Then I'm telling these are the columns I have in the data. So I have to know, being as a data engineer or as a Python developer, I have to know only one thing. What is that? How can I go and take the columns and pass that argument to the function? This is what I have to know, how to write this function. Then I'll say what? Hey, the output prompt has to be like this. See, I'm telling you just take the input like this, right? You first of all take the suggestion from me like this, instruction I'm giving you like this, and take some sample input like this, and you provide me the output like this. This output in a formatted fashion, the formatted output, what I'm going to get, I'm going to use it further down. So the AI is going to, the Google is going to be called when I run this program by passing some sample data, what I received from this location, and the Google will respond to me in this format, the sensitive column information, which are all the columns are sensitive. If there is no sensitive columns, I will not do any work. I'll simply do what? Say, hey, go and move the data into non-sensitive folder. So I'll say, if there is a sensitive data is present, if there is a sensitive columns are there, if it is not null, then you go and move it into sensitive folder. If it is null, if it is empty, there is no sensitive columns identified by my model, automatically move the data to the non-sensitive location. Like this I'm telling. So if I'm going to place the data in this location, in this incoming path, automatically you are going to find the data is going to be moved to the non-sensitive folder. For example, this I did not manually perform. This has been done by our code. So automatically the transaction data found to be non-sensitive, and the the customer data found to be sensitive because we have some personal information on the data, PIA data we have. Personally identified information we have in the data. Because of that, this code is, I'm not going deep dive into the code. Maybe we don't have that much luxury of time. But very importantly, I'm talking about only this particular, the function what you have created here to apply the classification technique. This is called classification in the data governance. In the data end-to-end data management, we have some concept called classification, data classification. Maybe you are taking two opportunities here, guys. Whoever wanted to learn about something called data governance or data quality or data masking and all these techniques, you take this as a first cut opportunity. The only work what we have reduced here is with the help of AI. Rather than we open the file, we pick the file, we open the file, we see the content of the file and identify whether it's sensitive or non-sensitive. We are passing some sample data to the our whatever our GenAI model, and we are getting that response by saying, hey, send this prompt and get the response. Based on this response, whatever the response text I'm going to get as an output, I'm going to decide. Maybe I use all the container and other locations and all. I did not hard coded anything. That is very important. I did not hard coded saying take the data from the customer file or patient file or whatever we are going to use. Automatically, this is going to happen and say, okay, based on the data is identified as sensitive or non-sensitive, I'm going to pass the data. I'm going to write the data into sensitive column. I identify whether it's sensitive or not, and I'm going to write that into the non-sensitive folder or the sensitive folder. This is module number 1. We call it as a sensitivity classifier. The sensitive data auto classification we are applying, we are doing dynamically. It's a dynamic model. It is not just static. We are going to do it for any type of data that we are going to pass. I'll show you guys examples. Okay. So now we got the data moved to the sensitive folder. You can see here the data got moved to the sensitive folder. It is clearly showing like the data is moved to the sensitive folder. Now, what's next on top of that sensitive data? If we identify the data is in a sensitive state, we have to do what? We have to take the data. Maybe I'll go to the module number 3 and talk about the data masking module. So the data masking module talks about what? Over here, you see the data masking module. The data masking module talks about, hey, whatever the data that is present in the sensitive folder, you pick the PySpark code, you pick the data, you read the data from the ADLS bucket. Again, you pass some sample data to the Gemini. Again, you pass the data to the Google AI environment. And what you do, you will go and understand or get the masking strategy, what can be applied on the data. Because sitting and applying the masking strategy on each and every column is a cumbersome process for us, right? We could not able to sit and spend a lot of time to apply the respective column masking on the respective data. So what we'll do, we'll go and simply say, I'll give you some sample data. You do what? If I identify this data requires masking, or if this data is identified as a sensitive data, I'll give this data to you. You do what? Whichever the column is necessary to apply masking techniques, you apply masking only on those columns. Suggest me the masking technique. I will give that masking technique to my code. I'm just telling here what you know. Hey, GenAI, you don't mask the data and give it to me and all. First of all, what you do, you just take the data from me. I'm suggesting that to the program, like by saying, take the data from the input location, maybe from the input path, you take the data. And then what you do, I'll just give the list of columns and all, whatever we have overall. And I'm giving the, like prompt over here. This is the list of instruction prompt I'm just doing here. And the input I'm just giving as a prompt. How the output has to be, you have to provide me some masking plan like this. I'm not telling exactly you have to give email or credit card. I'm not hard coding anything. I'm giving some sample guys. This is how the sample output has to be. The column may not contain email. The column may not contain with the credit card. I'm giving some sample. Hey, for example, how the output has to be, because my program, the further Spark program or Python program can understand more of the structured data. When you ask the ChatGPT, it will give me the data in an unstructured fashion. I'm telling, no, give me in a structured fashion where I can use this output, the output format, what I'm getting, the response.text I'm getting, right? That response.text, I will understand it as a JSON. And I'll go and do some stripping of the blank spaces and all those things and all. Then what I'll do, I'll go and say, hey, can you just apply the respective masking pattern, whatever GenAI suggested. So GenAI is going to suggest us the masking pattern here. It will say, Irfan, whatever the data you passed, right, the name column, you can pseudomize. You can convert that into a pseudo value. Don't give the name to the table. Make the name converted into some other pseudo value. And the email ID he identified. See, though I passed multiple columns to the GenAI, what he's suggesting is don't mask the loyalty points, subscribe newsletter, last login information, purchase amount, and all. You don't mask. Only mask the these columns alone, name, email address, and do the respective masking. See, I don't know what masking has to be applied. GenAI is suggesting me. For the email, you mask the domain. Don't show the inceptez.com domain, gmail.com domain, or cts.com, infosys.com domain. Mask some partial information. The phone number, change some of the numbers. Don't change entire number. So this entire code base for the given data, it is generating and giving to me. So I'm telling what, hey, if the strategy is mask domain or partial, I'm taking all sort of masking strategy here. I'm bringing all sort of concept in masking, hash masking, partial masking, mask domain. For Gmail, I will be masking. The mail account, I'll mask. Pseudomize the data, redact the column. Redact means just apply the, say like this data is not for open people. And the general masking of put XXXX, what we do in our credit card numbers and all, right? Do some range masking. If the range of values is within this range, you just bring some other value, put some range of value masking, or suppress the column. Don't show that column at all because that is very highly sensitive. I don't want it to even mask and show that. And change the date value with some value added, some addition or subtraction of some date added on the given date, whatever is passed from the source. The entire masking technique I'm doing and writing it into Azure Synapse. Synapse is a data warehouse layer of Azure, which is equivalent to BigQuery, whoever knows about BigQuery. So if I open a new window, right, I can show you this data is getting stored into the Azure, Synapse database. So if you see here, this is a Synapse database workspace. I can go to the Synapse Studio. I can show you the tables got created there. You can go and query those tables to understand what is a masking data. So I'm going to mask the data and store it somewhere in the table. So the masked data can be accessed by certain people, but I don't know which people can access what data. Whether the people can access the masked data or a normal data, I don't know. That also I'm going to ask the AI going forward. That is what the next activity we are going to do. So if you see here, I have the tables created. Our data audit table created. I got the masked data output table created. You see here, the data got created with the masked columns. Maybe like leave that table. You see this table, right? The masked columns has been created here. The data is created with masked columns wherever it is applicable. The table got created by writing the final output. So we don't want it to see just in the screen alone. So this is the masked data first module. So you understand the amalgamation between the data that I'm passing to the AI, getting this instruction and writing the code according to the instruction what AI is giving to me. You are able to find the dot between this team. That is very important. So I'm not asking the AI to mask and give me the data. I'm telling, give me the strategy for masking. This is one methodology. We can't always ask AI to do everything. Say, I have billions of rows. Can I ask AI to take all the billion rows and get it masked and return me? We don't want to share the data to AI, first of all, right? So this is one of the application of AI in terms of masking. We wanted to do the same masking in our own way, means it will be a cumbersome and a time-consuming process. Second one, the second module is all about what? The same strategy we are using. The pipeline is not very hard to understand. In fact, I created this pipeline in a messy fashion. Srini wanted me to go with just have it in a clear way, like just create the pipeline with the individual way, right? So by this way, you can able to easily understand what I'm doing. Again, I'm going to read the data from a non-sensitive folder. This time, I'm not reading the data from a sensitive folder because this data is not supposed to be the data quality I can apply for every data. It's not supposed to be sensitive or non-sensitive. So I'm going to read the data from a non-sensitive folder, right? Or even from a sensitive folder, I read the data and then I will apply the data quality and the auditing techniques. Data quality means whether the data has nulls, duplicates, or give me some suggestion. The data has to be in what way, right? All these I'm going to get as an outcome here. The same strategy I'm using here. I'm going to ask AI, can you help me? So I'm going to just get the data, sample data. I'm taking only 50 records. I'm taking, passing that to the AI. I'm just applying all the concept of prompting techniques, the role prompt, instruction prompt, context prompt, input context prompt, output prompt, and all I'm going to do. I'm defining the role. You are a data quality auditor. You are an auditor. You are playing a data auditor role. You are going to play that role. Can you help me identify, analyze this data, whatever I given you, and identify how many null values are there, duplicate data is there, inconsistent data is there, some format issues are there. The date format is not as per our expectation. Some misconfigured access roles are defined on the data. Can you help me on managing all this data with the sample data that I give you and provide me the response by saying these are all the null columns. The duplicate rows are there in the data. Just give me the instruction, the rows are duplicate. And suggest the fix also. This is a very, very interesting story you can see here. It will suggest the fix of, hey, Irfan, this column has this problem. Can you fix it like this way? This column has some other problem, fix it. And what level of quality score that I have in this data? High quality or low quality data or medium quality data? Can you give me the response like this? I'm asking, and this response I'm going to use, whatever the response I'm getting here, I'm going to use that in my functionality. I'm going to say what, hey, take all the data and pass each and every column and identify which are all the null columns are there. Find all the null columns, find all the duplicate column value, find the suggested fix, find the data quality score. Extract all the column, form it as a row object, form it as a row with the addition of source file name also, because I want to have the source file name also added in my particular whatever the record you are creating as an output of this data that I passed as a quality output. The quality audit, what you did, right? Can you form the data frame like this with null columns, duplicate rows, and everything identified, including the data quality score? Very importantly, the fixes it is suggesting. It is acting like a suggester, right? So then I'm telling what, hey, write this data into the Synapse, the data warehouse. Just write this data also into the data warehouse in the name of audit log. Write this data in the name of audit log. All these columns, source file, audit timestamp, null column, duplicate rows, and all those. Okay, so you can see here that output. So it is telling what? Irfan, this is the data you passed as an input, and this is what the output I got. This particular file, whichever the data is present in the sensitive or the non-sensitive folder, I have taken the data and I found there is no duplicate rows, there is no null rows present, but there are some suggestion I have, and the data quality is medium. What is the suggestion I have? Standard is the phone number. The phone number looks like not in a standard format. Mask or remove the personal information data like SSN, credit card numbers. This I did not build. The AI have suggested. Otherwise, I had to do this work manually. Where AI is impacting, but in order to make this pipeline automated, we have to do the work. AI is helping us to improve our productivity. It's not like AI is stealing our job, right? That's a very important factor all of us has to consider. How to make use of AI is very important in the going forward stage, guys. In another 5 years down the line, if you see, the opportunities are very huge in terms of making the using the AI for operationalizing, for modernizing, for maturing our system. That is where we have to play a role. How to use AI requires programming, like what we did, right? Not a complete programming. We are taking the support from AI itself to write the programming. Even that's a very, very important factor to consider. I don't want to spend 1 or 2 hours or 10 hours of time for writing the data to Synapse. I'm taking some support from AI to get this data returned to Synapse. That is a very important factor to consider. Okay, considering the time, let me go to the next module very quickly. And I'll close very quickly for last one more use case we have. All our golden use case team. You never get this use case anywhere else. I'm challenging that. All these are golden use case. We put a lot of time and effort to create this. Leverage it, right? We will help you guys with all this code base and everything. Leverage it, okay? The third one is, the fourth module is data governance module, classification of data, tagging of data, tagging of the data, whether it is a kind of a sensitive or non-sensitive and all those. So classification first we are doing. I'm telling, hey, can you classify the data with some sample data that I provide? Whether it's a public data, internal, confidential, personally identifiable data, and what type of tag we can put on this data. This is the customer data. This contains sales data, payment data, log data, machine data. Like this, you can classify and tag also. This data is belonging to what type of data set. Like this, you tag also and provide me the response like this. I'm telling. What kind of classification is this data is of? This data can be classified as personal identifiable information data, personal health data, or whatever, government data, GSM data, whatever, and you help me tag whether it's a customer data or what type of data. So it is doing that work very efficiently. We are just using the model.classifier, which is nothing but our Google Gemini model. We are passing this. You can see here the generative model. We are passing the input, right? And then the prompt I'm passing, it is returning me the JSON data. I'm going to identify the data and I'm seeing here, hey, this data is confidential data classification. He itself suggesting me. And this data contains personal information as well. This is a customer data. This contains some sales information, payment information, some personal information too. It contains like this. He is suggesting. I'm not doing this. When I run this, you can see this guy is suggesting me. This guy is suggesting me. You just see this. He's suggesting me. I did not run this, actually speaking. He suggested me all of a sudden, right? Data governance, finally. This is the last module. Maybe I'll just finish with this last but 2 modules we have. In the fourth module, it's all about data governance. So if you want to know what are the concepts in data governance, you can understand this. Classification is one concept. Tagging is another concept. What is tagging? You can understand here. What is identification of roles? So this is very, very important factor, right? So we are getting the data. We wanted to say this data can be used by whom, right? That will be decided by the human being in general, but the AI is going to decide and help me understand, saying like, hey, this data can be accessed by data engineers who can do editing operation on the data. The data business users can do viewing operation. Like I'm giving some sample. I'm not telling this is how you have to give me the result. So based on the data, the AI is generating and provide me the result, writing that result into our this thing also, the Synapse also, or wherever. You can see here, this is what it is telling you. This file, data engineer can do edit operation. This file only the data analyst can do weaving, data scientist can do weaving, business users can do weaving. I can add more personas also. I can tell, hey, add this personas also. Tell me like, what about the business owner, or what about the CEO, what about the chief financial officer? Like this, I can ask, it will suggest me even. See, anything that AI do, we have to supervise that. We have to go and finalize that. This can't be decided solely by AI. So AI can help me accelerate my workload, right? Help me reduce my workload, help me accelerate my productivity, right? Consider that factor. And finally, the domain identification. Okay, this data is belonging to what type of domain? Whether it's HR data, marketing data, or finance data, and sensitivity data, sensitivity of what type of sensitivity, and purpose of this can be used for what purpose? This data can be used for what purpose? To accelerate my business, to strategically design my business. This is the third part of the governance. See, the first part of governance is classification and tagging. Second part of governance is identifying the roles, right? Identifying the right roles to define the access policies. The third part of the governance is all about domain identification, data sensitivity identification, usage, purpose management, purpose identification, and all this we are doing it in the data governance activity by saying, what, can you provide me this input, this output from the given data. So this data, it is telling it belongs to e-commerce. It has personal information, confidential, financial, and it can be used for customer analytics, marketing analytics, sales reporting, loyalty program management. It itself is suggesting some idea to me. This data can be used, can be brought with what ideologies, what strategies for developing my business. They are helping me. They are providing me it in a format of data. I can store that data. By when we get some data from some source, we can do all this. So with this, I'll stop here and I'll go and execute this once, guys, just to show you the correlation between all this, right? So now I'm going to say okay. Let me show you two execution of the pipeline. One pipeline is I'm going to put this same data, or maybe this data already you guys have seen. Let me put some other data. So in this incoming folder, the user is going to push some data. So I'm going to act like a source system who is going to push some data to this incoming folder. The transaction data I'm going to push. This transaction data, you remember, we don't have any sensitivity in that. Let us see how the AI is thinking about it. I'm thinking it does not have any sensitivity. So I'm pushing the data. Immediately, what is going to happen? Our Azure Data Factory, this guy called Azure Data Factory, okay, IZ workshop. This is the data factory resource I have created, the resource group I have created. So in the data factory, it is going to sense for any data present in that location in the GCS bucket URL. If so, he's going to immediately trigger my notebook. So you can see here, the notebook got triggered by now. It started running by now. So you can go and see in this other, this pipeline we have created. This pipeline is going to look for some data. It is going to get the metadata of the file and it is going to trigger this notebook. You can able to see this notebook got triggered. Where you can find that? You can find that here. The job runs, you can see the notebook got right now triggered and running. You can see it is running now, right? I did not run this notebook. By 7:42, this notebook got triggered by our data factory. The data factory told what, Irfan? I'm going to look for some data that is present in a URI. In the incoming path, I'm going to take that file and I'm going to pass that as an argument to the data factory, to the like our Databricks notebook. I'm going to take that file name and I'm going to pass it dynamically. So what file name he passed now? What file name he passed now? Maybe this is just a hard-coded print I'm just doing. This one you can leave. What file it is processing, you see? It is processing transaction file. I place a transaction file, so he's processing transaction file. So he's identifying that as a sensitive file, it seems. Let it be. Based on the column name or based on the data, it is identifying it as a sensitive field, and it is going and maybe like applying the data quality technique on the data. How many duplicate records are there? This is the data what we have, and it is suggesting me, hey, Irfan, there is no null columns, there is no duplicate rows, there is no suggested fix even is there. Classifying the data as a medium quality data, like this is suggesting. Maybe we had to intrude here to fix this and all. Totally, we can't give it to the AI, right? So then we are going to find the, like a data, like a masking strategy is applying. So he's finding transaction number can be hash masked, customer ID can be pseudomized, city can be generalized masking we can do, state we can do generalized masking, and store the result into our the synapse. So it is going to give me how the like masked data is going to look like. So did you think like this, guys? I am getting any data from anybody. I'm putting the data. I did not hard coded even a single column name. Any column that the data is coming up, it is automatically performing this operation. If I have to do this through the manual methodology, it is a very big task for me, right? So it is automatically bringing this data masked. The customer ID is masked. The transaction number is masked. And the city and state are generalized. Generalized masking it does, right? The activity of using your XXXX, it put on the city and state and all. We can change that by prompting. By changing the prompt, we can change that. That's a different story. It is telling it's more of customer sales, payment, transaction data, contain customer personally identifiable information identification. And then it is telling this data can be tagged as what? The data engineer can do editing and all these activities. The data can be performed with all these activity. And then it is finally telling me some of the suggestion. This data can be used for analytics, reporting, transactional outcome, finance. This is the belonging to finance domain. Pretty interesting thing. Okay, let me go with one more data set. I'll go and place one more data set, something like very quickly in a minute of time. So I'll leave the stage to Srini again back. So team, don't maybe get dropped or don't just miss this opportunity of understanding this workshop, right? It's going to help you a lot. Just stay behind, and Srini is going to show you a very interesting story towards setting up your own chatbot, own AI environment, rather than going and depending on somebody, rather than going and asking ChatGPT or our Microsoft Copilot or anybody. You can set your own chat environment in your platform, your own AI platform. You can set in your own computer. That Srini is going to show pretty interesting story. Okay. So the last strategy, what you are seeing here, the job run is going to happen automatically by picking what data this time. It is now running with what data? Just now it ran with the transaction data, right? Now this guy is going to run with the patient's data. I have some patient data placed in the GCS location, sorry, in the ADLS container location. So this time you can see the data is going to be dynamically passed to the taken and passed to the GenAI. The GenAI is going to suggest us. The data is going to be okay. 1 second. So it is taking customer data. Customer data I did not paste. Let me check. Maybe this is showing, or maybe I have to delete the data, the old data. That is okay. Anything is good. So where is our data? So in the incoming path, I have placed the patient's data. Maybe it will go and run on loop. That is okay anyway, right? So it's all about what, guys? Maybe it has taken the patient's file only. Maybe it is printing the old content, what it's printed. You can see the processing the incoming file of patients. It is doing the second processing. It's not completed. First file he moved the customer data. Now it is passing the patient's data. You can see the patient's data got moved into the respective location. Maybe I had to delete that old path and all because I'm running in loop, right? It is triggering that many times the job. But that is okay. You can see now the patient's data will be classified. The patient's data will be masked. The patient data will be applied with data quality rules. The patient's data will be applied with tagging. Every sort of the data governance activity it is doing. Okay, team. With this, I'll stop. And I'm transferring the role to Srini to play around. If our workshop is extending for another 10-15 minutes, right, team, it's worth of waiting and watching towards one more use case what Srini is going to show. It's pretty interesting. Okay, and then we can go with some Q&A as well. Consider this workshop we are going to extend till maybe around 8:15 like that. Okay, yeah. Please go ahead, Srini. I stopped. I'm done actually. Srini, the stage is yours. I hope you are there, right?
Hi, Irfan. Thanks, Irfan. Thanks for your complete walkthrough of the projects in a detailed manner. Irfan, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, G, audible.
Am I audible? Yes.
Yes, Srini, you are audible.
Thank you. Okay, let me share my screen. Just Okay, I hope you are able to see both in Google Meet as well in team server, like team meeting also you are able to see, right? Okay. Okay, so let me we are going to discuss about like how we can run the model locally. Means like we don't want to go for any API. We don't want to get any API. Simply just how we can download the model in local and we can run the model. Okay. So that is what, right? Like there is a site called Olama.com. Olama is the tool that is going to download the model and then it is going to create a platform to run the model. Okay, it is going to do all this abstraction and then we can directly run that model. It's going to from the command line or it is also going to expose in the APIs. Okay, so whatever the model that has been there, right, we can download the model and then we can run it. So it is a very simple step, installation and also running the model. Everything it has been very, very simple. You can easily try out in your laptops actually. Within a minute, like within a 5 minutes of interval, you are able to do that one. Okay. So just you can go to the site olama.com. Just here, you can see, right, like I can open olama.com website. Okay, if you go here, you can see, right, download. This is the site actually. Okay, so just you can click on this download. It has been available for all the versions, Mac or like Linux or like Windows. Just you simply click that download for Windows, it is automatically get download, and then you can double click it as listed as exe. Just you can double click and then that's it. It is going to get installed. Okay, so even on the document also specify the same. Okay, download the installer of your OS, run the installer, and then follow the setup. Okay, so once it has been installed, how we can get confirmed? Okay, so just simply go to the command line, open the command line, and then simply you just type anywhere. Like it is not like you don't want to go to specific path and then check that one. Simply you can specify Olama. You can use like hyphen version, and then check like hyphen. Version. Right? One second. Hyphen version. Yeah. So just you can test it, right? Like Olama space hyphen version to ensure like it has been properly installed and then it has been running. It is automatically it has been running. You don't want to do anything. Simply just you can download and then you can install it. That's it. You can go to any path, means like in the Windows machine or like in Mac. If you are using Mac, in Mac also you can download and then you can install it. In Linux also you can do that one. Okay. So once you install, okay, next what we can do. This is not a, Olama is not a model. Actually, it is not an LLM model. It is a tool to run the model. Okay. So Olama is a tool that is going to help to run the model. Actually, this is a platform to run the LLM model. Okay, you can go there and then you can go to the models. If you click the models, you can see what are these are all open source models. You can see, right, all the model that has been listing, right? These are open source models actually. You can see the parameters like 1.5, 7 billion parameters, 8 billion parameters, 14 billion parameters. Everything is a DeepSeek model actually. It is an open source model, Gemma model actually. Okay, so you can use this one. You can add a device such as laptop, tablets, and phones. You can use this one. Okay, again, like this is Gemma 3 in 1 billion parameter, 4 billion parameter, 12 billion parameter, something like this. Llama is the one actually, is a meta. Facebook has been releasing this model actually. Okay, likewise, there are so many models. The Mistral is one of the popular model actually. Okay, so any model again like LLAVA model is the one we can have that. Okay. Okay, so how to run this model? It is, if you see, right, it is very, very simple. Okay, if you say, for an example, I want to run this download, and then if I want to run this model, so only one statement. Okay, you can here you can see that you can one particular model you can click and then you can get the details of it. Updated 3 weeks back, and then this is the only one command, Olama run Mistral. Okay, so it is going to download that model and then it is going to start running actually. Okay, you can see, right, 7 billion parameter model this is. And again, you can see, right, Mistral is a 7 billion parameter model distributed with Apache license, open source license. It is available both instruct for the text completion. Okay, so what is the purpose of the model? From here, you can learn that one actually. Okay. Again, like outperforms, this is the one they have given some additional information about that. Okay, so that's it. Actually, like this is the command. You can see, right? This is the command. If you do that one, what it is going to do, it is going to, in the command line, if you go here, and then simply I'm running like Olama run Mistral. Okay, so what it is going to do, it is going to run first. If it is the model, it is going to check in the local repository. If the model is there in the local repository, it is going to run that model. If it is not there in the local repository, it is going to download from the central repository. From the internet, it is going to automatically download that model. So this model, right, mostly it has been hosted in the repositories actually. That is the popular repository is like Hugging Face. Hugging Face is the open repository where all the models is being hosted. So from there, it is going to get downloaded. Okay. So they have also configured like where the model has been there. Okay. So from that particular repository, it is going to get downloaded. First time, if you run the command, you can see it is going to get downloaded. In the it is same like a Docker. Okay. In the Docker image, if you are already familiar with Docker, the concept of Docker, we have this pull and run, right? So it will run if you are giving, first it is going to pull that one and then it is going to run it automatically. Likewise, the same way it is also been configured. Olama run Mistral, that's it. You can ask any question. Okay, so you can say like, who are you? Simply you can ask who are you. Sorry, this is question mark. I am a model of Bing Rewrite AI. I was created to help well-written and unique content by rephrasing, restructuring, and expanding existing data. My purpose is to assist people in improving their writing and productivity by maintaining high quality. Okay, so I'm here to make your life easier. If you have any other questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask. Okay, so then we can ask anything about like, whatever the questions that you have. This is a prompting actually. You can give whatever the prompt. Okay, so tell me more about yourself. So something just we can ask. What are your capabilities? It's a model of Bing Rewrite AI. Main purpose is to help. Okay, so again, it's giving the same thing. So you can ask anything, whatever you have, right? Like just I'll say that I want to read. Okay, just so we can do that. Okay, just keep on running that. Want to break it complete. So this model now it has been running in local. Okay, we don't need any API that we need to pay. Actually, like the API we need to get created and then we don't want to pay for it. Okay, so again I can also ask like create a SQL query to read data from a table called TBL tickets where channel this chatbot. So something I have given this one. So it is going to create a query to read data from this one chatbot. You can use the following SQL query. Okay, so I don't want to print all this information, additional information. So how we can do that one? So I don't want to get all this information. Only I want to print that query. I want to get the query. we can define the output format. So this is what the prompting instruction that we are giving. Additionally, it is also giving that one. Okay, so okay, fine. So you can ask any questions and then you can use this one. Okay, so say for an example, how we can use it in my programming language. Okay, so if you go here and then if you see right, the UI itself, they have given that one, how to use this one. So it has been exposed as an API. Automatically, the Volama is exposed this as an API. So you can see right here, you can see this is the local host 111434. Okay, API. Okay, it has been run as an API. Just you can define what model it is, like Mistral model. Here is a story about like so something like this. Here in the command line, you can curl command. Command is like from the curl command itself you can use and then you can run this one. Okay, so API. So API I want to call from Python program. How I can do that one? Okay, so this has been downloaded from Hugging Face. That's what I mentioned. This is the repository, like model repository, where this is going to get downloaded from there. Okay, so this is the one. I can also use Python program. That is what here it is. Okay, I can show you. Just yeah, here this is a Python program. So the same API, and then I'm defining the payload model equal to Mistral. Tell about quantum computing. Whatever the queries you have, right? You can write that one, and then you can define that, and then you can run this one actually. Okay, so I go here. I'm running this Volama API. This is the file. Okay, so simply you can go here and then you can run it. You can get the output for it. Guys, understand this, right? It's very simple. You can use any model. Like if you want to parse an image, you want to process the image. Okay, so say for an example, I have an image. Okay, this image is like this is a credit card. Okay, so this is a sample credit card image. Okay, so this is an image, SBI credit card. Okay, we have this information. We need to extract this information. Okay, how we can do that one? Okay, so we can also write a program. Whatever we are doing it in the command line, we can also write a program. So through the command line, how we can do that one, we will see that. Okay, so let it print that one. Okay, here if you want to know about more about this, right? Like if you need any help, you can simply put slash and then question mark. It is going to give the command. Okay, so here you can see like slash show. It is going to give all the information about like the model. So you can give. It is going to give show info slash show info. It's going to give the info about this model. Okay, the architecture, LLM architecture, parameters 1.2 billion parameters, embedded length is like 4096. So again, all this information about the model, it is an open source model. The version when it has been built, sorry, this is like license version that is going to give. Okay, to come out of that, you can simply use like byte, and then you can come out of it. Okay, so I want to read or like read the information from this message. Okay, from the image actually, not message, like from the image, I want to read the data. What is this data? So something like this I want to read. Okay, how I can do that one? So you can go to the UI and then you can see like the model. That this is Mistral is only to process the text data, LLM model. Okay, the multi-model we need to have. So multi-model is like Lava is a novel model, trained large multi-model that combines the version encoder and Vicuna for general purpose visual language understanding. Okay, so we can use this model actually. Okay, so here this model is going to read the data. Image also it is able to read, supports image also to reading that one. Okay, it is again one is simple. You can see right, like this is the command Volama run LLAV. So you can have this one and then you can run it. That's it. The model is going to start running actually. Again, the API is also going to be there. You can change that code and then you can also use that one. Even the image you can read and then you can convert as an embeddings and then you can use that one. Okay, so now Olama run lava model. You can, what I can do, I can have the image. You can see, right? So what is this image? Okay, and then I can give the credit card location. Simply I can give and then I can run this one. Okay, now it is reading that image and then it is processing it. It is taking like just a 1 minute of time to process because it is in a local machine, right? One single machine it has been running. It is going to take time, but it is going to process and then it is going to give the result. Okay, because of this is a small language model, 7 billion parameters only is being 7 billion parameters is going to be there. Okay, so if it is like more number of parameters, okay, so this accuracy is, it is going to read all this information. Okay, it is not able to read all this information. So this is what actually like, just we want to know how to use this model, LLM model. What is now, I hope you people have an understanding about like the LLM models and then what is GenAI and then like what is prompting, how we can implement this in the code, those kind of things. I hope you people are aware. Again, there is a topic, right? Like LangChain. There is a one more framework called LangChain framework is also been there. You can also explore that one. Whatever I'm writing the code here in this format, right? So there it is going to be a library. I don't want to explicitly define that one. Okay, so automatically it is going to take and then the chain of actions we can also configure over there. Okay, so you can see, right, it is going to give the information. Now image shows a credit card with the name SBI card on it along with the logos of our SBI, State Bank of India and Visa. The card has been a blue design with element that could be interpreted as an abstract bird or sunburst pattern. There is also a photograph underneath the card showing a person hands holding the same credit card. The background behind the card is dark blue color, which matches the top part of the card. Getting right? This is what the card we have seen. Okay, so whatever the information it has been giving, right, is correct, right? So it is like SBI card is on the top, actually, State Bank of India. Even it is giving this SBI also, it has been expanding actually. And the Visa card. Okay, the card has a blue design with elements that could be interpreted as an abstract bird. Here, this is what it has been mentioning, or sunburst pattern. There is also a photograph underneath the card. Okay, so showing a person's hand holding the same credit card. Okay, so this background have a card is a dark blue color which matches the top part of the card. So again, it is not reading the other information, something like Vijay Kumar and then this date and all, it is not able to read. Okay, so again, if you have like more parameter model, if you download and then if you run, right, it is going to read all this information actually. Okay, so hope this helps actually. Okay, just I want to give an overview of it, how you can use, and then you can start learning this one actually. Here, if you go right, like in the UI, there are like so many models. It is okay. So the Gemma model has been there, and then you can understand this is a 1 billion size. Okay, so it is like a model that we can run. The DeepSeek model is there, Gemma model. So many models are there. You can try it out. Okay. Okay, so this is one use case. There is another use case we have. Okay, so this is a metric bot. Metric bot, what it means is like just the user is going to give an input. Okay, so natural language input the user is going to give. So the input, what it is going to do, what we are going to do, right? Say for an example, that we have a ticket data, right? Ticket, the database ticket we have in the MySQL, we have the ticket information. I can show that one. MySQL bot we have, right? This running on this one. So I can have the table called tickets. Just if I run this one, I have like so no 50 means like around 10 tickets or like 9 tickets are there. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tickets are there totally. Okay, so this 9 tickets I want to query and then I have to get that one. Okay, so how to do this one? Just I want to write a prompt and then I want to access this data. Okay, instead of writing an SQL query, okay, I can ask anything. I can ask about the description. I can ask about the channel. I can ask about the title. So in the normal plain English, I'm going to ask that one. Okay, so that is what the prompt. Okay, just what we are doing is like we are writing a Python program by integrating this Gemini LLM. So first, whatever the English language that has been given, right, or like the natural language that we have written, right, so that we are passing to this LLM, okay, by giving that information, saying like there is a table called tickets. The table contains there are 5 columns. The first column is like title, the description, the channel, status, etc. And then we can give the description for it. In the prompting, we are doing that one. Additionally, we are also going to add the user input. Then we are passing to the LLM, and then we are asking to generate. First, I'm going to validate whether I want to validate whether this is a right, means like this is, they are asking only for the ticket related information or not. Okay, just there means like there is going to, I'm using the LLM and then validate it. Then I'm passing to the LLM to get that converted into an SQL query. Okay, so as to convert into an SQL query, this input has been converted into an SQL query. I'm getting the output, the SQL query output, and then the SQL query is going to executed, and then it is going to get printed. Okay, means like executed, and then what I'm doing is like the output, right? I'm not directly printing the output. I want to convert it into a story. Okay, so what I'm doing is like whatever the output I'm getting from the database, just I'm trying to convert that, actually means like convert it into a summary. Okay, and again convert it into a story, and then like I can use this Gemini model, and then I can display the data. So, okay, so that is what I'm doing. 1 second, let me show that one, how to do that one. Okay, so for just a minute, we'll complete, and then I can. Okay, here. I have this code ready. I don't have time to walk through the code, so simply I'm get the count of it. I'm running this one. Get the total number of tickets. Simple question I'm asking. Okay, so you can see, right, how the output has been. So whatever the input I have given, it has been generated as SQL query like this, and then execute the SQL query, and then summarizing the result, and then displaying that one. So the user history also you can see, right, they get the total number of tickets. There are like total number is 9 tickets. Likewise, you can write an English language query, or that is what prompt you are calling, and then it is going to get the output. Just I'm writing a Python program for this. This is just, it is a Python program. You can have this program. I don't have time to walk through that one. So all this. Okay, you can see, right, this is the prompt I'm defining from template. I'm defining the table, the columns, all these details, and then I'm checking this one. Here I'm using the LangChain. So LangChain is, as I mentioned, LangChain is a framework. Just it is going to abstract that one. I don't want to write more code, actually. It is going to give that abstracted way, so that it is going to memorize that one. The previous history also it is going to have a copy, and then it is going to pass along with that prompt every time. So that it is going to have this previous question also, it is going to get referenced, actually. Okay, so that is what it has been, actually summarizing the result, and then I can run that one, running the SQL query, and then I'm doing that one. Okay, so this is just one sample. Likewise, there are so many use cases, means like agentic RAG is also being there. Okay, where we can have the customer data, we can write the program and then load the customer data into the Chroma DB. So here we have used like Chroma DB to load the data. So internally it is going to store it as a file. That is what embedding that is discussed, right? But it is a out of time, we are not able to cover all those things. Just we will share that one, and then you can refer that one. And again, we are planning to have a course. Actually, we are starting a course from Monday on the data engineering part, actually. So in that one, let me go through the roadmap of it, actually, what we are trying to cover on that one, actually. Guys, 1 second, just give me a minute. Let me stop sharing and then I can share that. Yeah, so let me share my screen. Sorry for that, because that is there in my WhatsApp. Actually, that is the reason I stopped and sharing it. Yeah. Okay, so this is the course that we are planning to start by Monday, actually. Okay, so this course is about like Azure data engineering, whatever we have shown, right? Like how we can means like make the person industry ready, or like the person who can work on full stack on data engineering, actually. Okay, so we are covering with cloud data services, means like Azure cloud data service, data engineering services. So something like what we have seen, right? Just we are focusing on from the basic. Okay, so that people who are like even from the fresher to the means like even like 15 years of experience or like 20 years of experience also can learn this course. So it is like we are starting from Python programming languages, means like 1 to 2, so first 3 week of time we are going to discuss, means like talk about like what are the modules, or like what are the necessary things that we need to learn for data engineering perspective. What are the libraries that we need to know? So the pandas libraries, and then how we can write a API, and then how we can host the API. So if you see in the GenAI LLM, right, it's mostly about like calling the APIs. Okay, so just we will see like how we can use this API. There are like Flask APIs are there, and then like we have the APIs called fast API. Okay, how we can write the APIs, and then we can have a real-time project also. Okay, how we can connect to the GenAI, means like models, means like local model, or like the hosted models in the cloud or something like that. We can connect. Okay, again in that again how we can connect to the databases, something like Postgres or like MySQL databases. How we can create a connection, read the data. So those kind of things we are going to discuss on the Python programming in terms of data engineering aspect. Okay, so that is what the first part is. Like the second week is like the second module of this course is about discussing on the data warehouse. So mainly, right, like if you're a data engineer, okay, so you should have to know the concepts of data warehouse. So that is the primary requirement, actually. So the now most of the people, right, like they are not understanding the data warehousing concepts. So if I ask the questions, like the people who are coming for an interview, right, if I ask a question in the data warehouse, they are saying like, no, I haven't worked on that one. I work only on Spark, something like that. But Spark, right, again, reading the data, where it is going to store the data. It is going to get stored the data in the data warehouse. Okay, so the data warehouse, and then data modeling, and then like the governance. These are the things like now the trend has been changed, right? Now it has been like a data asset. We are not talking about like data mart or something like that. We always now this transformation has been happened. We are talking about like data asset, or like data product. Okay, so unified layer, or like UDM layer, data modeling layer, something like that. Okay, so and then like just we want to understand the concepts of what is data warehouse. Okay, so why we need to go with the data warehouse, and then what are the layers we have it in data warehouse. Okay, and then what is this SCD is all about? What is star schema? What is snowflake schema? When we have to use this practically, we want to do that one. So again, so that is what we are going to do on this data warehousing part. And after that, we are going to have the discussion about like PySpark and Databricks. Okay, so Databricks is the one of the powerful tool to process data using Spark, actually. Underlying it is a Spark. Again, Databricks is the master in Spark, actually. They are the one contributing Spark. Most of the concepts, they are the one contributing, actually. Okay, so how we can write a program in PySpark, and then we can implement that PySpark in real time. Okay, so we are also going to discuss about like a batch process, how we can process the data in batch, how we can process the data in real time. Okay, so one of the use case that we have seen right in real time. So that is we are going to see, and then again for every module, what we have thought is like just how we can implement this GenAI process. Okay, GenAI tools, how we can implement, and then parallelly how we can equip ourselves to work on this GenAI part actually. Okay, so that is what like we are going to work on. That there are like every module actually we are going to work on the project, real-time project that we are going to work on it actually. Okay, so after this PySpark and Databricks, we are going to discuss about like cloud fundamentals, means like Azure cloud fundamentals. Okay, what are the services that we have it in Azure, and then we are also compare Azure with GCP. Okay, what are the other services that is being equivalent services we have it in GCP? Those kind of things are the common or like the core cloud computing concept that we are going to cover. And after that, Azure Cloud Data Engineer. Okay, so this is the interview preparation, interview readiness. Once you understand this, Azure Cloud Data Engineer is all about the services, something like Azure Data Factory service, Synapse service. So all this, all the are like Event Hub service. So that we are going to extensively discuss, and then how we are going to do the real-time project using these services. Okay, so that is what we are going to cover on the Azure Cloud Data Engineering part. And then like real-time streaming analytics. Okay, so again, how we can read data from different real-time sources. So something like Event Hub is the one of the source that we have seen. Likewise, how we can read from Kafka, how we can read data from so like a console input. Those kind of things we are going to discuss, and then we are going to implement at every module level, or like once the module get completed, we are going to implement the real-time project. And then we are a real-time project in the sense like this industry standard projects actually. It is not like so something like retail project. Okay, so really it has been implemented. So those kind of projects we are going to work on it actually. And again, the topic after that, we are going to discuss about the topic called GenAI again. Okay, GenAI, prompt engineering, LLM, Agentic AI, how we can build the Agentic AI. So as I mentioned, right, like there are tools we have, something like land graph is being there. Without writing a code, we can also build a LLM, means like Agentic. No, just the big thing is like people get confused about like Agentic and also like agent, agent versus Agentic AI. Okay, so building agentic AI is being a bit complex. Okay, so that is what like how we can achieve that one using like LangChain or like using like MCP. How we can write that one. That is what we are going to discuss on this one. We are going to have like more number of use cases at every level. Again, in this part, right, GenAI prompt engineering part, we can have like more number of use cases to that, so that you can get familiar with that one actually. And again, so finally, like we can prepare for the interview actually, Azure Cloud AI and Data Engineer. Okay, so once you complete the course, right, you are capable of doing real-time project in Azure Databricks, and also like in the data engineer. You are going to have a clear concept of, clear understanding of data warehousing. So you are able to distinguish between like what is data warehouse, what is data lake, what is data lakehouse, what is data mesh. So all these concepts, right, you are going to get clear about that one. Okay, so that is what the challenge is all about. Even if the people comes for an interview, even if you ask a question, what is the difference between like a data lake and then like a data warehouse? So they are not able to answer. Even they have like more than 7 years of experience or 8 years of experience, they couldn't answer that one, because the reason being is like they are not understanding the concept. Simply they are learning only one particular thing. That is the reason just from the scratch we are starting, and then like just we want to cover all those things. Okay, just I have given an overview. So if you are really interested, you can also you can connect with us, and then you can also join this course. Okay, so that's it again. As I mentioned, right, like there are so many other things we can do using this GenAI. So I have some other use cases also, something like how we can do with agentic AI. Okay, so that as I mentioned, right, the data movement with agentic AI, how we can do that one. So some of the use cases that we are also working on that is there in the pipeline also. So probably we'll also come up like after 1 or 2 months, we can come up with this Agentic AI, the complete solution. So how it works, those kind of project that we will prepare, and then we'll come up on that one. Okay, I think I'm good. Irfan?
Yes, Srini. Yeah. So thank you so much, Srini, for the patientful session and a kind of an insightful session also to the entire team. I'm, wishing on the behalf of the team. So if you have any question, right, team, maybe you can shoot out. I know like we did not find much time for, like the question. But however, if you guys have any questions, you can raise that in the WhatsApp group also where we have, right, our group. You can raise that request over there. We will send you as an audio message or even a text message also addressing the question in a complete way. But I hope like the the interaction what John and Srini had, right? I'm thanking both of them, John and Srini, for having that interactive panel discussion to help everybody understand what all the thought process or the question that we had in our mind, right? That is really appreciable. And thank you so much, team, all of you, for being patient. Even when we exceed half an hour of additional time, also you guys are staying and attending, right? That motivates us always, right? Keep going, right? I mean, keep up the transformation, keep up the maybe like the aggression, right, towards the learning always, and keep going, team. If you guys have any questions, right, you can very well ask us here or maybe later also. We are always there to help you. Right.
Sure.
I hope most
Yeah.
of the questions you guys got addressed, right? Yeah, go ahead, Srini, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Irfan. Thanks to John also. So I think like it is we are beyond the time actually. So really sorry for that. Actually, we thought of wrapping it up on time, but so we are not able to do that one. I think this session has been useful for you. Thank you, thanks for everyone to show the interest and then to join your this call and then spend your time. Thank you so much. So try to implement all these concepts. Just even means like whatever the domain that you are working on, right? Please try to implement that one. As I shown you, right? It is very simple. It is not complex. Okay, it is a straightforward way. So you can analyze where you can implement in your project. Okay, or like your self-study, you can do that one. You can learn and then you can. So you can see, right? Like we don't use any data science or like ML model kind of thing. It is a plain simple English we have given as a query, and then we are getting the output. Okay, so try to implement that one. So then definitely it is going to, yeah, it is always we are in the transformation phase. Okay, just we can ahead and then we can adapt this one. Thank you so much. Any questions? So let's have another 5 to 10 minutes for questions, then we can close the session.
Yeah, thank you, Srini. Team, I hope at least you guys got some idea about what is all these basic terms, right? And then you guys can enrich by using the presentation and the video which we'll be sharing you. And very importantly, I hope you guys understood about the difference between the basic chat GPT or whatever we are using, along with how we can implement that in our real life, right? That is one thing. Secondarily, like how AI is going to, or how we are going to follow AI, right? That I hope you guys are understanding as well, right? So that is the main reason behind why we conducted this, to break the ice of what is AI, right? That's a very important factor. We wanted to have this the workshop that conducted. In addition to that, how we can use that in the cloud platform, right? We are using the best of both, right? AI and cloud. That is a very good combination, which no much people are having awareness of. Okay, most of the people says I don't have much good idea in the AI platform plus data engineering plus AI plus cloud, right? So this one you guys have got together today. Make use of it, right? By any way, right? Even you can put this as a project and go ahead and search for opportunities also. Okay. I hope it will convey you better. Thank you, team. Yeah. Any questions you guys can ask? Otherwise, we'll wind off. Thank you so much for all your patience. Okay, I think we don't have much questions. Feel free to ask in our group, team. We are happy to always answer you guys. maybe keep up the momentum and ask the questions. We'll help you there. I know like we are on top of that. That's the reason I think you guys are maybe restricted to ask question. However, you guys please feel free to ask any sort of question. So the class timing will be Monday till Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Adil. Yes, we will be sharing you, Sarona. We'll be sharing the code, the presentation, and the video as well. Okay, you can make use of all the three. Yes, it is already recorded. We'll share you. In our group, we'll share. Thank you, team, for all your time. Keep going.
Thank you.
Catch you guys all later.
Thank you all.
That's right. John, I think we can close, right? And Srini?
Yes,
Yeah, I think we can close.
Thank you, John. Thanks for your
Thanks.
participation.
Yeah, thanks for organizing this, John, completely.
Coordinating this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Srini and John.
Thanks,
And
everyone. I think if you guys can slowly drop the call, I think we can close the meeting. Guys, those who don't have questions, if you guys drop the call, I think we can end the meeting. I'm waiting for everyone to disconnect or end the leave the meeting. So, suppose if you guys have questions, you guys can use that. Yeah, yes, Prashanti. You raised your hand. I will unmute you. So, hello, Mike. Yes, Prashanti, what's your query? You can unmute. You can unmute and.
Yeah, you are on mute, actually.
Prashanti, you can unmute. You raise the hand, Prashanti. You can unmute. Click unmute and ask the question. Vaishali, you can unmute and ask the question. I have enabled the unmute mute option. I think they haven't. Srini, I think they weren't able to understand where to do the unmute.
Okay, so that is there in the top bar, right? Like the.
I think they just need to go top. Vaishali, you have to click on the top. You can't able to do it. You can unmute. Okay, I think I don't know. Okay, you please put the query in the chat, WhatsApp chat, and we will respond to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, please ping in the WhatsApp group, team. We will help you with all the questions answered. Yeah.
I don't know why we couldn't able to. Okay, fine. I think you can unmute, but I don't know why it didn't work.
We can very well do it in a single cloud, Vaishali. We can do in a same cloud itself. All we have to use is OpenAI APIs. We have to use to do that. We were using the Gemini API, right? We can use the OpenAI available in the Azure itself to do that. So we can do it in a single cloud also. So fee amount is right, Ajit. If you are an alumni, it is 40,000. If you are not an alumni of Inceptez, then it is 45. See, Vaishali, we have tried it in GCP only. We have did this, the API call in GCP only. But in the if you want to try the same thing in GCP, yes, very well you can try, right? Since this workshop is more aligned towards Azure, we have made all this tech stack from Azure platform. But literally, we can do the same entire projects, whatever we have shown in the GCP also. And soon we are planning to do that in a very short span of time. Yeah, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Ajit and Vaishali. Yeah. Okay, I think John, we can close the session as team has no much
Everyone,
questions.
please. Yeah, I think. Please, guys, if you guys drop the session, we can comprehensively end it.
We don't want to keep
otherwise,
you and just get it ended.
Yeah,
That's the reason.
yeah, please disconnect or just click leave button. Yeah, recording will be provided in the WhatsApp group. Please wait. It takes 1 day to process. Please wait. Guys, please disconnect. WhatsApp
So Sindhuja, the
link.
WhatsApp group link we have it in the, maybe like I'll share you. You can join through this link. You will get the notification of those content.
Okay, I'm just trying to remove people one by one. So still there are.
I think we can close, John, right? I mean, as we don't have much questions and that, we can.
Okay, I will click end
close.
meeting. Okay,
Yeah.
I will click end meeting so that it will be closed. And I'm clicking click pandra, we will get.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.